Okay. Start with in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I bear witness there is no God but Allah. We thank Him for making His divine intervention in our affairs in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise I forever do. And we thank Him for raising up His messenger Messiah, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I would be totally remiss in my duty if I did not thank Allah for the divine servant and reminder in our midst, a true warrior and brother, an example of brotherhood, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It is with their names that I greet you, my dear brothers on our call, and those who are listening, with the greeting words of peace. We said in the Arabic language, the language of our forefathers, of Issalam alaikum, which in English it simply means peace be unto you. We like to welcome you to another edition of We Must First Be Brothers. We thank you for tuning into our broadcast tonight, and we pray that Allah will bless us with guidance and wisdom that will help us to draw near to Him and then to draw near to each other and formulate real unity and real brotherhood, that we may ultimately activate that brotherhood into activities that will help us change our reality and the reality of our people. So we thank you for tuning in again. I think this marks the 29th week that we have been going very strong. All holy and perfect praise to Allah for that. And with His help, we continue to move forward and press on and march on, that we may change the algorithm of humanity, starting with us, starting with brothers, that we may change the algorithm of thought in this society and balance it out properly where it needs to be. And really, all roads, all paths, no matter which one you're trotting, they lead to the divine principle of brotherhood, specifically amongst you and I, the so-called American Negro, as we used to say, the black man in America. We have a great assignment, a great responsibility. Our suffering has produced in us a substance, a quality that once we are able to access and harmonize properly with Almighty God and ourselves, we are positioned, if you will. We are slated, if you will, for lack of a better expression, to be the new rulers on earth. But we will not rule in a world that has caused pain and suffering. We will not rule modeling the behavior of the old world, but we will rule based on the divine principles of the universe, equality. So again, we welcome you to another edition of We Must First Be Brothers. Our topic for tonight, which I think is so important for us to really dig deeply into it. And I just want to lay a couple of thoughts out, ground rule. Let's try to stay on subject as best we can. And I know we have a lot in us as brothers to share. We have a lot of thoughts running through, a lot of ideas, but let's see if we can draw those ideas into what we're talking about here tonight. It's important that we give a concentrated focus in our discussions. We have to remember that what we're doing now is not just for this moment, but if you really understand what we're doing, it's for future generations. Praise be to Allah. And you should be very grateful that you have the opportunity to participate in such a thing, to participate in a conscious effort to strengthen the position of truth, to help stimulate society properly. We have to penetrate this world. We have to take over, brothers, just straight up, because the current situation is just failing miserably and is going to continue to fail. And so this instruction given to us by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is one that we have to adhere to. I don't care what you call yourself, what religion you call yourself. If it does not lead to the principle of brotherhood, then you might want to reevaluate what it is that you say you believe in. If it keeps you in the spirit of contentiousness, where you are constantly feeling like you have to fight and compete with your brother, then you might want to reevaluate what it is that you say that you are following. But tonight's subject is looking for the best in your brother. The basis, or I stated it this way, a basis for unity. So this week in preparation, I was studying, beloved, and the scripture of Paul and the circumcision came across my studies. And you know, in the scripture, Paul talks about this circumcision. And you know, growing up as a young boy, we're taught, or we were raised, and we were all, in most cases, I can't speak for everybody else, but I know that we were, based on the Christian experience, we were taught to go be circumcised. And it was significant as a religious principle. But as we've grown, we even understand why God had us to do it for health reasons. Because when the foreskin is not cut properly, then it leaves room, if you will, or creates the environment for disease to grow. So Paul said it's not just the circumcision of the male foreskin, but in fact, it is the circumcision of the hearts. So circumcision of the heart creates the proper environment for brotherhood. When that foreskin is covering, it does not allow for air and the opportunity to be clean or cleansed properly. And it is the same with the heart, brothers. We got to study the condition of our hearts. So when the heart is circumcised, it is open to receive light. And as you know, light is a purifying agency. Sunlight, spiritual light, is a purifying agency. The light of truth purifies the heart. So if you have not circumcised your heart, open yourself up through the spiritual surgery of submission to the truth given by the master teacher, you may think you are standing on truth, but the heart has disease because it has not been properly cleansed. So every time you open your mouth, or every time you act in some way or another, the heart disease is being transmitted in your words, and the heart's disease is also being transmitted in your action. So how can we say in this modern time that we are brothers while violating the first principle of problem solving? And that is problem solving in the system of brotherhood. If you have aught, Jesus said in the scripture, with your brother, take it to your brother. Don't take it to the internet. Take it to your brother. Don't discuss it over social media. Discuss it with your brother. If you don't have access to your brother, take it to those who have the knowledge, the wisdom, and the right kind of heart to help begin the process of resolving the conflict that may exist in your heart or between you and your brother. I'm starting here for a reason, because Black men are quarrelsome amongst each other today. You get on the internet, we're fighting and arguing, we are beefing. It's just sad to see how far we have gone down into the abyss, into the satanic abyss of this world. We're behaving not like men, but as I said last week, we're behaving like punks in so many ways, just to keep it real. Like sissies, not real men, because real men learn how to confront each other in an intelligent way to resolve conflict, not bicker, not blame, not point fingers at their brother, but resolve the conflict. We have too much emotionalism infecting the psyche of Black men. And when you have an emotional brother, you have a brother that is not in control of himself. So the minister gave us the study guide 18. He said we have to rise above emotion. He said even Allah experiences emotion, but we have to rise above emotions into the thinking of God. He said that before Allah acts, he rises above that emotion. He doesn't move out of the anger. But if you look at us today, we're acting out of anger. We're reacting. We're not thinking. And this is why we're shooting each other down cold-blooded in the streets. This is why our young people are shooting each other down cold-blooded in the streets, is because we have not yet mastered our emotions, among the things that we intend to talk about today. These discussions that we are having here are not so that we can build a podcast, brothers. That's not the motive in my heart. That's not the motive in the hearts of us who are working this process. We have to change the trajectory of our behavior as Black men so that we can take our rightful position as gods on this planet. And that is not self-aggrandizement or delusions of grandeur. When I say gods, that's not some type of vanity, brother. That is an actual fact, a divine truth that the Black man is God. I'm not trying to make you feel good, although it should make you feel good, but it should encourage in you a sense of determination to reach your truest self and a sense of determination to help change the reality of the world that we live in, to become more responsible. That's upon each and every one of us, man. We have a lesson that we was given from Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. So why didn't the devil settle on the best part of the planet Earth? And it says because the earth belongs to the original Black man, and knowing that the devil was wicked and there would not be any peace among them, he put him out on the worst part of the earth and kept the best part preserved for himself ever since he made it. We're talking about the original man. What you see happening in this current society is a world that is ruled contrary to the nature of the original man. It's ruled contrary to the will of God himself. Process that, brother. Some of us may have heard it, some of us have recited it, but are we really processing what we're saying to the depth of what we need to grasp from it? So we put him out on the worst part. We're seeing the reactions and the environment of a rule on the worst part of the earth. And that's why you see feminism weaponized against divine masculinity. You see, as the scriptures say, women rule over them and children are their oppressors, talking about you, Black man. You see, Black man dead, his woman being promoted above him in this society. That's no shade against the sister. It is a part of the system and a part of the weaponization of our enemy. Well, what are we going to do? We're going to look for somebody to blame? No. A man becomes a man when he starts to take responsibility. That is one of the key indicators that you are really becoming a man. You're really becoming a brother. You're really on the path to becoming a God. Can you imagine the originator in the heavens and the earth complaining? It's too black out here. It's too dark out here. There ain't no light. I can't see nothing. Where are my eyes? I don't have eyes. Can you imagine the God creating himself, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, in triple stage darkness, complaining and whining? Oh my goodness. You can't imagine that. Because had he been a whiner and a complainer and a brother that blames somebody outside of himself, he would have never created this magnanimous universe that we live in. He would have never been able to achieve what he has been able to achieve in a universe that we all look out and are marveling over. That nature is in us. But because we're suffering from a deep psychological sickness and self-hatred, we can't see that in each other. We're focusing on the worst part. We're focusing on the worst part of the planet, of ourselves. And so we have been circumventing around falsehood and weakness, corruption, violation of the principles of life, the principles of brotherhood, the principles of truth. Just want to lay this foundation before we get started. And I hope that we can really weigh in on this in any way that you can. I know it's quite a bit, but it's important to say these things because we're trying to disrupt the rule of Shaitan, not outside of ourselves, but inside. How do you know if you are circumventing around truth? How do you know you are orbiting around truth? You know that you are orbiting around the true Kaaba, the spiritual center of yourself, when you love for your brother what you love for yourself. That's the evidence that you are operating and that you are orbiting around truth. I'm gonna say it again because I want you to really get it, black man. We know that we are actually orbiting around what is right and truth and divine, black man. When you love for your brother what you love for yourself, all roads lead to brotherhood. All roads. I don't care what you call yourself. All of the prophets were brothers, man. It's the little devil that's been ruling over our mind and over our psyche that's got us gravitating to the prophet, and then we want to repackage them and rebrand them so that we can be at odds with each other. As our lesson said, he got us fighting and killing each other. He's sitting back watching you kill each other when you are in the position to become the ruler of the whole universe. Once again, that's where we are, black man. We are on the brink of a pit of fire on one hand, and we're on the brink of reaching the pinnacle of success on another. We're in the valley of decision. A brother should be safe from the mouth of his brother. He should be safe. Even if your brother has a legitimate grievance against you or you against him. A real man doesn't go behind another man's back, I don't care who he is, and talk about him. Not no real man. A real man doesn't look for an audience that cannot do anything about the problem that you have with your brother. He can't solve the conflict. He's not going to take it to people who can't resolve the conflict. A real brother and a real man takes it to his brother. How do you know we are under the influence of Shaitan? Because we are quick to shed blood. We're quick to condemn. to judge our brother. Just look at our behavior, man. Be 100. Some of you might be on this call judging me right now. Who did he think he is? I think I'm a God in the making. That's what I think, to answer your question. And I'm unapologetic about that. And you should be unapologetic about that as a black man. How you become a winner thinking like a loser? That statement does not give me superiority over my brother. It should encourage my brother as it encourages me. I want to be my best self, bro. I ain't come here on earth to be a loser. I remember learning we made the greatest victory coming through that hostile womb, brother. Coming through the birth canal. But not only that, traveling to fertilize the egg, brother, you made it, black man. You did it then, you forgot. You forgot about that victory in that hostile womb, brother, while you was traveling to that divine destination to fertilize that egg and then go through the process of being born in the womb of your mother and our mothers. You made it, black man. But that was just the beginning of the journey. Now we have an entirely different level of responsibility. I hope that you're flowing with me, and I'm almost done. Yes, I'm taking my time to open this up today because this is a discussion I think we should have a little bit more going forward. With the help of Allah, we're trying to penetrate. We're trying to pierce the algorithms. I'm not here to have a social discussion, or we're not here to talk about social issues like we're not commentators, brother. We're not here to be commentators. Let me give a comment. Let me give a comment on my versions of the truth. No, we here to dissect, brother, to break down this thing, to break down these issues, to expose these things that's keeping us disunited. We're here to break the cycle, black man, because the God has intervened in our affairs and given us the strength and the fortitude to be able to break the cycle today. That's not a hope. We're beyond hope. We're in the time of doing, brother. I heard the minister say this of Islam. It don't matter whether you Christian, Muslim, Islam means submission to the will of God. He said Islam demands action based on your belief. There's an action that has to come out of what you say you believe. What is the ultimate action? To die to go to some heaven? That's nice. But what would heaven be like if you died, even whatever your perspective on it is? What is it going to be like? It's got to be full of brothers. I'm not talking about males. I'm talking about brotherhood, love, man. Elijah Muhammad said that hereafter, he said it would be unlimited progress. So we're here to talk about looking for the best in your brother. And in order to do that, you have to have the proper tools. The most important tool is the knowledge of God. Jesus asked the question, how can you love God whom you have never seen and hate your brother who you see every day? I said, let me answer that. And the thought came to me, because you don't really know God. That's why you hate your brother who you see every day. You can't love God and hate your brother who you see every day. The only way you can do such a thing is you don't know God and you really don't love God, because you can't love that which you don't know. So you have to study him. To love God, you have to know something about him. You have to know his ways, his methods, his patterns, his attributes, his qualities. He's the mighty, he's the wise. He's the healer, the restorer, the life giver. You have all those qualities in you, because he gives us the ability to act on his divine and perfect will. Allah is the supreme brother. And from my humble but fortified belief and knowing, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is a supreme brother. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a supreme brother. Give a damn about somebody's opinions. Look at what your brother does for you, man. That's how you know you're dealing with a brother. Look for the best in your brother. Brotherhood and the love of the brotherhood is congruent with the path of God. So the lesson say he did not care about the poor part. He kept the best part preserved for himself ever since he made it. The lesson goes on, said the best part is in Arabia at the holy city Mecca, the place where the wisdom and the knowledge of the original man first started when the planet began, when it started, when it was founded, when it was formed. This is the root, brothers. This is the root. We kept the best part preserved. We're not talking about some geographical location. We're talking about a spiritual location, a Mecca within ourselves. We kept it preserved. It's the righteous nature in us. Preserved means to keep pure, protected, guarded, maintained in its original condition, free from corruptions. Spiritually, it teaches us that Allah has preserved the highest wisdom and the pure way of life. Our responsibility is to preserve the same, black man. Truth within our own hearts, establishing truth in our hearts through submission, purification, and genuine brotherhood. So I stop here in my intro. And yes, alhamdulillah, I'm very passionately lit today and going to continue as I'm working to build myself up and to get attuned properly. And as our brother Lewis, we would say, getting into fighter shape. We got to get into fighting shape, brother. You know, the disciples of God, of Jesus, pardon me, in the Garden of Gethsemane kept falling asleep on the brother. They kept going to sleep. We don't understand what that means. See, God gives you a man, God gives you wisdom, and you go to sleep on the wisdom. It's not just the physical man that you're going to sleep on. You're going to sleep on what the man embodies, the principle that the brother embodies. God always gives you a brother. The prophets were brothers, man. And then you go to sleep on them. You start talking like a nigga about them. You start whining and fussing, nitpicking, instead of picking up your cross, brother, preparing yourself to go to war, preparing yourself for battle, taking your responsibility, because Allah just didn't choose the messenger. He chose you too. You the messenger too. So I stop there, brothers. And thank you for tuning in today. But I want to hear your thoughts today. And we're looking so forward to our discussion. I think, Brother Lewis, are you ready, brother? I know you were in a meeting, but we just want to go down our list. I see Brother Jay. I see a lot of brothers that I don't know, but we welcome you, brothers, to the call. Thanking you for tuning in. And hopefully you can participate and understand that we're here. We're not here. This is not a format to argue, if you will. Well, we got some fire if we need to fight. But the point I'm saying is we're here to establish principles of brotherhood. We're here to talk about what we can do to build on those principles of brotherhood. I see your hand up, nephew, so you can go ahead and go, Brother Elijah, and then we can keep it moving, brothers.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
First, I just want to say that was a great intro. And I recently, obviously, I just moved to Houston, Texas, so we've been talking a lot lately, and that just aligns, with a lot with what we've been talking about. And
Can you speak a little louder, nephew?
oh yeah. So I was saying, first that was a great intro. And I wanted to say I just moved to Houston, Texas, so now we're in the same location. So we've been talking about these things the last couple of days, and you hitting it pinpoint on what we've been talking about. Secondly, I want to give a testimony to when you first brought when you first was calling me on the phone and I was in school playing ball, and you were telling me about, okay, I'm about to come out with this book. I'm pushing this movement. We must first be brothers, and you were working on getting me on the right accord. Um, and I'm going back to think about some of my brothers that I used to be around in college. I kind of used to be in that phase of, religious gang banging, to a certain extent. Like, I love me and my Christian homies. We all loved each other. But once you threw out God and we disagreed, man, we at the lunch table going back and forth for hours. And I would call my uncle up on the phone and we would sit there and he would be teaching us from both sides, not trying to win me over or win them over, but he would be teaching us from both sides. So from that point on, I didn't necessarily understand the principle of, regardless if somebody don't fully agree with me, being able to see what their action is, what they doing, and what their heart is, and be able to tell, like, okay, like you said, it don't really matter what we call ourselves. We focus on the wrong thing. We really are trying to do the exact same thing, but we're
Come on.
falling into the net of the enemy who wants us to be caught up on the label. And I started to realize, like, wait, this ain't, we not really building nothing. We not growing nothing. We sitting up here arguing. So as I started to improve and get older, I realized, well, it don't matter if I call myself a Muslim. It don't matter if you call yourself a Christian. Because I once heard the minister say that every Christian is a Muslim, vice versa, and every Muslim is every Muslim is a Christian, vice versa. So we the same thing if we got the same goal to be righteous, do right, to preach the right word, and to save our people. So I got away from looking at it in the what we call ourselves, and I started to be able, okay, let me look at my Christian homie. Man, he's doing. I can see the good in him. I can see the good action, the good intention, and what he wants to do. So now I don't. Man, he can call himself whatever he want. I can call myself whatever I want, but we can see the good in each other and agree on the good and work in progress on the good. And man, just from being able to think like that, I don't know if that's my brother Caleb that's on the phone, but I was able to be a part of a group called Iron Sharpens Iron, where it's basically a group of young, black, intelligent men who are growing together, disciplined, growing in discipline,
That's
consistent.
me, brother.
Okay, that's you. Okay, this is my brother Caleb, but I'm speaking of another Caleb. But
Oh, my
growing in
bad.
discipline. No, you good, brother. Growing in discipline. I mean, we exercising together, we're journaling together, we praying together, we reading the Bible together, all these different things. And the older me, I wouldn't have been able to adjust to that. I probably would have rejected it because I would have heard the word Bible study or, you know, we sending scriptures in. A lot of it's the Bible, but as Muslims, we read the Bible. But the old me, I would have looked at that and be like, I don't know, man. But now that I'm mature, I've been able to build with over hundreds of
Yes.
Christian brothers, Muslim brothers, brothers that don't even know what they fully believe in yet. And just by being able to look at them
I'm so
and
sorry. I got
read their heart
I'm on
and
the
see
webcast, but once
what
I get off,
they
I'll come and help you, and we get some traps and get rid of it. Okay? I'm so sorry. Okay.
but yeah, so just I developed and grew in being able to see the good in everyone. But the practice what helped me was seeing it in my brothers first, that I was around every single day, being able to see the good in them, regardless of what he called each other. And I just give some credit to my uncle for helping me on that. And another point, what was my other point? It slipped my mind.
Excuse me, brothers.
I'll come back to my other point later, but I just wanted to give that testimony that throughout the years I developed to be able to see the good in my brother, regardless of what he called himself, what he believed that I don't believe. I just want to move forward. I don't care about the sticking to the focusing so much on the disagreement, because we don't got too much time. It's time to build. So okay, we disagree with that, but what do we agree on, and how can we start moving forward? I don't care about that. It's time to build, because you can go outside and just see the times are changing. Stuff is about to change up, so it's time to build something for our people, so we can be able to sustain ourselves through whatever we got to go through. So that's
Beautiful.
testimony that I want to give.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you so much, nephew. And I mean, like, really hit, really just great path that we're going right in. You know what I'm saying? Because that's exactly what we need to look at, and we need to identify with it. We are in a habit of hating each other, black man. Damn, you know, that should resonate. That should make you think. We're in a pattern of hating each other. It's okay for us to see it differently, brother. You got your set, I got my set over here. It's gonna happen, brother. Perspective, there's no such thing as the same exact perspective because there's no way we can stand on the same part of the earth at the same exact time, brother. You're gonna see it differently than me, and I'm gonna see it sometimes differently than you. But when we can draw on the principle and have respect that you have a perspective, and let's start with respecting and honoring that, then I get the benefit of your point of view. I get the benefit of your perspective. And not only do I get the benefit of your perspective, brother, you get the benefit of mine. Damn, I'm like, that's lightweight work, bro. These people got us banging each other out, bro, and we losing. Don't tell me you got the way and you can't find a way to be my brother. Oh, you in the NOI? Oh, you a Hebrew Israelite? Oh, you a Christian? Oh, you ain't jack if you can't be a brother that ain't leading you to brotherhood. Because Musa or Moses was a brother. Isa or Yahweh, Jesus, a brother. Ibrahim, a brother. Muhammad, a brother. You can't build nothing without brotherhood. And that's what we're talking about here. And that's why we're pushing this agenda. We must first be brothers, man. It's okay, man. It's okay for your brother to shine brighter than you sometime, man. Praise be. It's your brother that's shining. Your brother winning, you winning. That's why I said we have to make a mental exercise. We have to be intentional about looking for the best in our brother. Try it this week, brothers. Just try it when you get off the call. Try it this week. Just get around some brothers and you don't even gotta say nothing. Just try to see something good in them. Try to, oh, this brother looks nice. Don't say he too tall. He think he. No, this brother beautiful. Oh, that brother pretty sharp there. I like the way that brother dress. Oh, I love the way that brother communicate. Oh, just get in the practice of trying to be intentional for one day. Watch how your heart is lifted, how you start lifting the burden out of your spirit. Brother Lewis, I see you. Brother Lewis Ali from the South is on the call, brothers. Welcome you, Brother Lewis. Love to hear you.
Blessings, Brother Michael. And that's a great foundational stone that you put down in front of us on looking for the good inside of brotherhood, I'm inspired by a nephew, man.
Me too, man.
Did he say he moved to Houston?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is that right, nephew?
We're in the zone together.
I'm right downstairs.
Oh my God, brother. Let me tell you something. I'll get to us looking for the good. Well, I am looking for the good. That's revolutionary. In fact, there's a ayat in the Quran that raises the question, was the earth not spacious enough for you? See, we had 6 million people that traveled from the South for a better opportunity in the North at the height of the so-called Ku Klux Klan. And we were moving in close proximity to one another, not just to get jobs, but to exercise power. 2 is stronger than 1, 4 is stronger than 2 if they're 4 organized. You can't organize without being brothers. You understand what I'm saying? When you start being in close proximity to one another, you're offering each other's the opportunity to tap into each other's talent and to pool your talents and gifts together. You in the South now, okay? It's important that we understand that Nat Turner traveled, Harriet Tubman traveled, Denmark Vesey traveled, all of the revolutionaries traveled. Minister Farrakhan, there's a whole article called what? Farrakhan the Traveler.
The Traveler.
And sometimes when an opportunity is not in our zone, it could be in another zone where our brother is. and we could share intelligence and pool our resources together, and we could set up beachheads and take over areas. That's what every other group does. They're busy finding the good talents in one another. How do you speak to another brother when you give him the greetings? After you give him the greetings, did you ask what is his talent? What is his skill? Did you ask and listen attentively to see if there is something you and that brother could work out or work on together? One of the things in finding good in one another is that we all have to concentrate more on being beneficent, trying to figure out a way to give something and contribute some kind of way to one another. And when we walk in the room, we have the intention of being beneficent. I heard Brother Mike talking about the heart, and it reminded me of something he wrote in the book, We Must First Be Brothers.
Praise be to Allah.
And if you don't have a copy of the book, I really hope that you'll get a copy of the book and make it a point of discussion. Now, this book is not just for Muslims or Christians. This is for brothers. We have to unite in an operational way, and these principles in this book will help us to begin to do that. Okay, and I also would ask everyone to get a subscription to the Final Call newspaper. One of the number one causes of disunity
Teach.
is ignorance,
Teach.
not knowing. And so the scripture says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. But the next verse says, for they have rejected knowledge. So we don't want to be the kind of men that reject knowledge when it's offered freely. Now, this book has great principles in it. I'd like to highlight point number 42, since Brother Michael was talking about the heart. And in point number 42, it says, the pure in heart shall see God. So, when your heart is free of negative impressions, it allows for clarity of spiritual vision, where you can see the divine in your brother. This spiritual perspective enhances your ability to see the goodness and the positive qualities in your brother, which in turn creates a deeper level of respect and honor for him. It also strengthens the bond of brotherhood and encourages a spirit of kindness and compassion towards one another. This is by our brother Michael Muhammad in the book, We Must First Be Brothers. The point of the matter is, and the truth is that when our heart is polluted with the debris of envy and jealousy and strife and conflict, it destroys the creative energy that would cause us to be beneficent to one another. And so these are things that have to be removed out of us. And they can't be removed without a conscious effort for these impediments to be pointed out. Part of what makes the minister so creative and so attracting and attractive is because his heart is not polluted with envy. That's why he let everybody speak at the Million Man March. Even those who condemned the march, he allowed them to speak at the march. He wasn't jealous and envious or thinking that they were going to take anything from him, because his whole motivation is to save them, him, and us. And so I like the title of the show, Looking for the Goodness in One Another. Very spiritual topic, but a much needed topic, because too often we take it for granted the amount of time we have with one another, as I was telling you earlier today, Brother Michael. None of us know how much time we have. And we should enjoy the flavor, that sweet flavor of each other's lives while we're still able to give off a flavor, if you see what I'm saying.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going to open up the call for others, Brother Michael.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Brother Lewis. And you really, brought it home on that point. It really sparked a very powerful point by just mentioning the vulnerability of life, and the fact that we don't know how long we're going to be here. We just don't know. You know what I'm saying? And so it's not to promote action out of fear. It's to promote action out of gratitude.
That's right.
Do you know how sacred and how valuable it is that you sitting in this time, in this moment right now with your brothers? Brothers, do you know how powerful? You mentioned Nat Turner. You mentioned the struggle of our brothers coming up. And I was looking at some things on Louisiana because I'm really studying it since we're going to be coming to Louisiana to be with our brother Lewis and do some work and bond in our way of brotherhood. But, and I said, let me study this place a little bit more. Louisiana Purchase and all that went down with Black people. You don't even know the brothers that marched on the shores and they were trying to revolt, and then enemy cut their heads off and put it on poles. It's people who have paid a price for us, brother.
That's right.
They did not pay a price for us to just become niggas. You know what I'm saying? They did not pay a price for us to become weak, bitter people toward one another. Man, they paid a price, brother, with the hopes that a day would come, that we would get on top again, man. And the conversations that we're having right now are parts of that. They are ingredients. They are indicators. It's evident that something has happened to the once slave, Brother Lewis, Brother Jay. It's evidence that somebody has intervened. Something has happened, man. That we even having this kind of conversation of consciousness so you got to get to a place where you can embrace the moment. Because once you start embracing the moment and you start realizing how sacred the moment, brother, to your left, your right, in front, behind, you have a much greater appreciation for your brother and your people all together, So I think when you mention the moment, I think that's you mentioned just how vulnerable life is. I don't know if your brother's been on an airplane and and you look down on the earth and you try to see if you can actually see somebody. It's almost impossible when you get to a certain height, but you can sometimes see the little cars moving. Things look so small when you up that high in the atmosphere, but it also makes you realize when you're flying through that sky on that airplane, how vulnerable you are. You know what I'm saying? That turbulence hit, you realize how vulnerable you is. If that pilot don't know anything about how to speed up and move through that turbulence, then that could even be worse. But the pilot knows something about how to maneuver, and so therefore, he's able to manage and help you get through that process. But what I'm getting at is that you realize how vulnerable you are in the moment. You realize how sacred the moments of life are when you realize that you don't have no power you can't stop the plane. You can't do anything when that joint is up in the sky, but then when you look down, you see how small people look. And then you think about being out in space and how small. Brothers, when you get to a certain height, you start seeing how insignificant, you really are in some respect. You're significant, but you put it in the divine scheme of things, brother. Your mark is only felt when you align with the divine God. When you and I align properly, then we become a part of the force of God in the universe. That's where you become significant and powerful at. J19 on the call. What's going on, Brother John? You came in right on time. Yes, sir. How you feeling, black man?
Feeling good, bro. Feeling good. Good to see everybody's face on here.
Good to see your face, brother. You go ahead and light up. You ready? I'm throwing you right in. They say we come ready, brother. You're an old drill sergeant, brother. I know you know.
He ain't got to get ready. He ain't got to get ready.
Some of us wake up. Some of us wake up in the dead sleep.
Come on.
We do this here. Look left and right. We come in and we give the greetings. And next thing you know, instant rostrum pop up.
Come on now. Come on,
Say,
black man.
is this mine? So
Yes,
I get
sir.
the testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Is this mine?
1, 2. Mic check.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely,
sir.
bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, bro. So I just want to thank everyone for coming. On Thursday night, you could have been anywhere you wanted to be, but you decided to come here and understand, get in where you fit in, and as we say, put in a brick to this wall of brotherhood. We have to form this wall of brotherhood in all aspects, mentally, physically, spiritually, and above all, when we building this wall, we have to look to see who's good at whatever they do. If I'm good at digging, there's no need for me to be laying bricks, right? Right, brother Mike?
That's right, brother.
Right?
That's right.
For real.
If you good at cement, ain't no need to be digging no ditch. Ain't that right, brother Lewis?
That's right. That's right.
So we have to find the best of each other and understand that each one of us, just like there's 9 systems in the body, 9 planets, each one of them play their role. We as brothers, we have to not be jealous of each other and understand that some of us start and some of us are 6 men. It's simple as that. And there's nothing wrong with that.
But we all winning.
But as long as we win, that's all that counts.
Right.
It doesn't
all that
matter who
matters.
take the first shot or the last shot. Both of them is just as important and under winning. The last
That's right.
shot may be a buzzer shot and it looks like it's the best, but you wouldn't have got that last shot without the first shot. It's as simple as that.
Right.
So
Simple
yeah,
as that.
and that's what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad was talking about when he said 4 or 5 of you brothers get together and build something. 4 or 5, and he didn't only mean physically building, but spiritually and mentally built. I was listening to some of it as I was driving in, hearing what some of the brothers were saying, and I was really impressed because it appears and it looks like we all becoming one and understanding exactly where we need to go. So at the end of this month, we're supposed to be having something really big for each and every one of us to participate in and to see and understand what real brotherhood looks like on the physical aspect, not just in the mental or the spiritual aspect. But what I had to say, I wrote out a little bit, bro, just to real quick.
Go ahead, brother.
Say,
Go ahead.
yeah, I say tonight, brothers, we were talking about something this simple but very powerful. Looking for the best part of your brother is what binds and builds unity. Most of us don't actually do this. We only settle on the good parts we like. We smile, dap each other up, call him brother, act like the struggling, failing, and broken parts don't exist. But we have to give attention to the broken parts also to help make the better parts. You know, you got to make it, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, make the weak Muslim strong. Ain't that right, Brother Lewis?
That's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So if it's behooving that Brother Lewis see a part in me, and he has to pull my coattails. Say, come on, Brother John. I've been knowing you long enough to know the talent and how good you are. Why are you gonna sit here and settle on the bad part, bro? Stick on the good part.
Come on, brother.
Prove that good part of you, Brother John. I shouldn't
right.
get in your car. This is fictitious because I've never done. I don't smoke cigarettes, but I shouldn't get in your car and smoke cigarettes and smell cigarette smoke, Brother John.
That's right.
Now, if you're gonna be the best you can be, it's simple as that. I don't know if some of y'all seen this weekend, this last couple of days, this brother online, one of these sisters. I don't want to call her a 304, but I will call her a 30 something. Get in front of the brothers, you know, half dressed, and start shaking
Yes.
her backside on that song that young Miami singing. I don't even want to talk about it. But anyway, she gets in front of all the brothers and she start doing her little thing. And one of the brothers, I don't know, I guess you want to say he broke ranks and start doing all this here with the sister. The brothers looked at him like, they gave him that look like, bruh. But the part I'm talking about is when I saw the comments, whatever all the brothers said, a lot of the brothers were saying, oh, that brother that broke ranks, he gonna have a problem when he gonna have a problem here in a minute when nobody don't see what's going
Come
on.
on.
And a couple of brothers made the observation and say, well, maybe that's what's going on in the back room.
Right.
See, those little moments right there, a lapse, in the words of Louis Ali, we not in fight
Not
shape.
being in fight shape.
We not in fight shape, brothers. We got to get in fight shape. The time right now is so critical and so crucial. We don't really understand what's going on. This man here done started the war back up. Do you understand that he was only holding this off
That's
for
right.
the World Cup because it's about money?
Yep.
The World Cup is over with. He getting ready to start blasting again.
That's right.
Are we ready? Because the minister already said what you see over there is coming over here. So this
That's right.
brotherhood thing is more than what you think about. We just getting together and doing something little. We understand the big picture based on the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and what his reminding guide is telling us, right, has told us over and over again. Brother Lewis, Brother Mike, and myself were talking, and we were saying that Brother Lewis pointed out that we as black men are in the same position we was in prior to the Million Man March. If
That's
anybody
right.
went to the Million Man March, go back and see. What was the minister talking about? Anyone want to answer that question? What was he trying to get us and talk to us about?
Stop the killing.
Somebody say about that.
Yes,
Stop
sir.
the killing.
He was
Stop
talking.
the
What was he
killing.
saying, Brother Lewis?
Stop the killing.
Not only stop
Yes,
the
sir.
killing, but it was something
Stop
else
the
he was saying
genocide.
too. Atonement.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Atonement.
the driver. That was the
Yes,
solution. Yes, sir.
We have to atone, bruh, to be able to settle on our best parts. If we still
That's a
looking,
fact.
you can't settle on your best part if you haven't atoned. Everything has to
That's
come
right.
out on surface, clear the air, and now we can really settle on the best part. We can look for the best part if we saying we looking for the best part, but in the back of our mind, well, that brother there ain't talked to me about that $500 he owed me, $50 he owed me. You know, that's 2 years ago. He coming around the neighborhood like he don't understand what's going on.
That's
Bro,
right.
we have to understand what's going on.
That's right.
We have to understand there are processes to settle on the best part and look for the best part. And maybe I'm wrong. Anybody want to correct me? But the 8 steps of atonement is part of looking for the best part of your brother.
That's right.
Simple as that. How
That's
am I
right.
looking for the best part if I got some disease in my heart behind another brother?
That's right.
And especially if it's some knick-knack, paddywhack, give the dog a bone thing where we can get.
Come on.
We're in 2026. This right here can get you anything you want in your mind. You can go in your closet with a credit card and get anything in the world you want. Do you understand how much power we got in our hand? Or are we just looking at videos and TikTok? Huh? Look at we all online in different parts of the country right now on our phones and what you call it. What does that mean, bro? What does that mean?
That's
Are
right.
we gonna harness this power? Are we gonna harness this technology and take it to the next level? Or are we? But to do that, we gotta settle on the best part. We gotta come together and we gotta participate. What's the number one? What's one of the ways to
Teach, Brother John.
organization, Brother Lewis? Don't participate.
That's
That's right.
Don't come in the organization and don't say nothing.
That's right, brother.
I'm not saying I'm not pointing no fingers. I'm just saying that it is a whole picture that we have to look at, we have to do in order. This is not pie in the sky teaching, bro. Brotherhood is not pie in the sky teaching. Faith without works is dead. And we leading to that, we getting to it on the 30th, to where hopefully, prayerfully enough of us come together, we can break bread, lock arms, create something, look back and see 4 times distance, right? If we look back,
Absolutely.
we don't see nothing done, we haven't done any work. We got,
That's right.
the word became flesh and the flesh dwelled among men. And the best
That's
part
right.
of the flesh did dwell upon men, not the worst
Yes.
part, brothers. So that's what I wanted to interject.
Beautiful.
Anybody else got something to question about?
Beautiful.
Something?
I'm gonna pick up right from there. Let me just jump right in there, just as we navigating this ship. Thank you so much, Brother John, because you hit some crucial, critical points. Even pointing out that mishap, from our beloved brothers, or that brother on that video. And I'm gonna call it a mishap, a misstep. What it's showing is that we are, as you pointed out, we're not in fighting shape. We're not aware. We got to get tuned up and raise the vibration. I mentioned it earlier in the points that I was making about the disciples falling asleep on Jesus. You see, it's not just falling asleep on a particular man, but on what he embodies, is what I said earlier.
That's right.
And if he embodies the principles of morality and high morality, then we should be having such a vibration coming off of us as a black man that nobody would ever want to come up to a brother and act in a way like that. She should feel shame.
That's
so
right.
There's no shame anymore because morality has been thrown out the door. And this is how they weakened us, brothers, is by controlling you through your penis. You see,
and all she wanted was clicks.
Yeah. See, he got you. He got you by the proverbial balls today, and this is how he's running us. So every time a sister get on the internet, she's jumping in front of us and twerking. See, but when we start taking our position, this is what we're talking about. When we start being what we need to be, damn it, we don't allow ourselves to be punked out by a butt, man.
And following the best part of ourselves. He went to the lower part of himself versus the best part of himself.
Come on. You see?
Yes,
so we don't allow ourselves to be punked out by a butt, by a twerking butt. We see this stuff on the internet. We should be trying to avoid it instead of sitting up there letting them pull on our lower nature and violate us, which corrupts our psyche. You can't be the kind of man you need to be when you can't control your lower nature. You can't control your appetite, and you let a woman flash in front of you and take over your power, just strip you of your power immediately. I see sisters come out there, man. I'm telling you, they bad. Don't get me wrong. They designed on the mathematics of the circle. They made for us. We can't help but to admire their beauty. But the thing is, when we see them presenting their beauty in a way that is an attack, a part of the systematic attack of Shaitan, when we see that work of our enemy in how they're displaying themselves, then we should automatically show our distaste by shunning that, looking away, lowering our gaze, saying we're not accepting that. Another point, I want to go to Brother Jay, because I'm being pulled in that direction, but I want every brother to participate today. If you have any thought, please share your thought. We're going to go down, but before I come to Brother Jay, I want to say this, in Islam, I'll just come from that point of view. It was a time where the believers were about to go to war. See, we're in a critical time right now. Some of you may not understand the significance of the minister. Maybe you don't believe whatever that. I'm not here to argue. Like I said, we're not here to debate that, but I got to speak from the platform that I'm speaking from, because I ain't seen a black man like that. I ain't seen a brother like that in our time. There's not been a brother like him in our time. He is the prime example of a brother. All you have to do is go study the footage. The footage is the proof is in the pudding. Don't worry about nobody's damn opinion, not even your own opinion. Cut through. You may have something that you don't like. That's fine too. But my point is, go look for the best, which is our subject. And I'm gonna promise you that you're gonna find a lot. Now I'm just laying that foundation to say this. So when you see the servant of God, you see a brother that's paid such a price, and you see those around him who have been great helpers him start to leave. You see him going in certain age. The enemy is preparing to make a move on him. You're going to find out in a minute who he is because of the move that the enemy going to try to make on him. But that move that the enemy is making on him is only a precursor to the real move the enemy wants to make, and that is on you and me, starting with our young people. That's why he's displaying our young people in such horrible, horrible portrayals throughout the internet, so he can justify to the world what he's about to do to us. I want you to pay attention. We're in a season of war. Brother John mentioned the fact that the enemy just went over and bombed Iran. Iran are good brothers. Now, if you know anything about Iran, the Muslims in Iran, they're good people. They're peace-loving people. They don't start conflict. They're not into all that. But what makes them such a threat to the small hats is the fact that they can't be controlled by the Eurocentric ideologies. They resist. They will call it out. They believe in their sovereignty, which is significant. So the enemy trying to bomb them to smithereens. That's what he's about to try to do. But the real path and the real agenda is to come after you and I. So it was a certain time when the believers were getting ready because they know it was war on the horizon. The prophet instructed all of the believers. And I'm talking to believers on this call, brothers, whether you're listening, wherever you are, whatever your station is, this is the truth, not an opinion. He said, settle your differences.
That's right.
Now, what does it look like to settle your differences? It means that one, you got to know what your differences, what's causing the differences. Most of it is extraordinarily petty when you think about it. You see, that's number one. And then number two, you got to know who you are in the time and what must be done. So I'm closing the point to say this, that we open talking about the knowledge of God and how important it is to know who God is. You can't appreciate your brother unless you know God. I can't acknowledge Al Jami. I call Brother John that all the time. You know, I say, you Brother Jami, which is an attribute of Allah, which is at the root of Al-Juma or Juma, which is one of the holiest days of the week for the Muslim prayer service, where we come together as brothers. We're told in the Quran, cut off all. Listen to what Allah instructs us to do, circumventing around the truth and the principle of brotherhood. Cut off all traffic and commerce. Cut off everything. See, and come to the remembrance of Allah, but you're doing it with your brothers. It's the gathering, which is an attribute of Almighty God himself. So I'm just saying, brothers, we're in a season. These subject matters, they are very spiritual, but they're powerful. And Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us the solution to the black man's problem, he said, is spiritual. That's what he told us. Then he told us in another time, he said, operate on me, Allah, and take the devil out of me. I don't like any, and I'm growing to feel what he was saying in a deeper way. I don't want anything in me that would make me have a problem with my brother. You know, you got a brother that has a gift or a talent, he's a leader, but you want to measure and guide and try to mete out how he should be. No, just appreciate what God is doing with your brother. You see, appreciate it. You can appreciate that, then you can grow and your brother can grow and you can help create an environment and insulate your brother and your brother can insulate you. And now we can keep it moving. Like the minister said recently, keep moving, keep it going. You know, Brother Jay, where you at, brother? You popped up in my spirit. And I just wanted to, if you are ready to say something, then we'll come back to Brother Lewis. And then I want to hear from, I think my brother, I see a Brother Andre. I just want to go down the list, Brother Harrison. I was going to go down the list after that and just kind of tap in with your brothers just to see what your thought process is, anything you like to share. And Brother Carlton, I see you too, brother. You know, you definitely got to have something to say at some point. But Brother Jay, what's good, brother? Yo, Jay, what's up? You know, I got to say that, brother. You know, that's that era.
Yes, sir.
Brother
I
Jay,
appreciate
Brother
it.
Jay.
You know, it's a blessing to be appreciated by some brothers, you know.
Yes, sir.
You know, Brother John and I have been talking over the past few weeks. I think of the Nipsey Hussle line. You know,
Yes,
Brother
sir.
John, know Nip, my favorite artist. He said the demonstrations speak loud, so I ain't saying much.
That's right.
And that's what it is. That's what
Yes,
it gotta
sir.
be. You know what I mean?
Yes,
All
sir.
this sitting around playing, talking, you know, next year this
Yes.
is gonna be, I'm telling you, the demonstration got to speak louder than the conversation. I
That's
mean,
right,
John
brother.
1 was, and first was the word. So it definitely got to start with the good word. You got to plant the seed
Yes.
eternal. And like I always talk about before any of these great things that we are talking about, you know, knowing that the God is within you, I like to say, think and believe that the God is your positive thoughts. You know what I mean? Like before we act on something,
Yes, sir.
it's like the left angel and the right devil, right? It's our own thoughts though, you know, and you become subjective to and you become what you do. You know, you do what you are. You know, so you kind of like a slime ball, non-trustworthy type of person. You typically got like um envy in your system, essentially. You know, that's in your character, that's in your blood, you know, so you have to spend a lot of time, I like to think and believe, with yourself to know yourself, to understand yourself before you can begin to look for those similar attributes in your brother, or even your partner. from a female standpoint. You know what I mean? You got to develop a sort of baseline, a guideline, if you will, for yourself to know what to look for in a brother to build with. You know, the saying is if you want to go long, go by yourself. If you want to go fast, go with others, or something along that line. I'm
Other way
paraphrasing.
around. If you want to go fast, go by yourself.
Go by
If you
yourself.
want to go far,
Oh,
go with your
okay.
brothers.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate Brother John. But yeah, you know, that's the gist of it. You know, I think a lot of that egotistical, over independent, that come from lack of trust. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the one thing I appreciate about you good brothers, you know, is the demonstration that you guys put down. Because it make you view black people in a different light. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like,
sir.
so it's work and work sometimes in your community that, you know, you like, I hate these niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I don't want nothing to do with none of them. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
And that's not the right spirit or energy to have, you know, because like Michael said, how can you love a God that you can't see but hate a brother that you see every day?
That's right. That's right.
You
Yes,
know,
sir.
so and that, again, that's one of the many things that I appreciate because it's more than just positive talk. You know what I mean? After you get off this call, you gotta really live it.
That's
If not,
right.
you're not gonna be
That's
able to
right.
hold rank. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be like the brother.
That's
You know?
right.
That's
So,
right.
yeah,
I,
that's all
I,
I say.
I want to add one of them Nipsey Hussle bars, bro. But I'm gonna put it with the since you done got me fired up, I'm gonna put it with the "We must first be brothers." We must first be brothers. This the remedy, the separation. This is the podcast of our generation. Anyone, you got it right, bro, Jay?
Yeah, I remember that line.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, sir. Yeah,
like,
that applies to us right now. We the Tupac podcast of this generation, bro.
that's right.
And it's all and the remedy for all of us is brotherhood and separation.
Absolutely. Is Brother Jay still there?
Yeah, so I'm still.
Yes, sir. I didn't mean to cut you off. You just got me fired up, bro, Jay. I'm
Oh no,
sorry.
you good. I was laying down. Man. All good.
You want to continue, Brother Jay?
Oh no, I'm all good. I'm done. I think Brother Carlton had his hand up.
Okay, we don't hear Brother Michael, but come on in, Brother Carlton.
Yeah, man, brother Michael got off. I don't see him nowhere. Go ahead, bro, Colton.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers.
Walaikum salam.
Walaikum salam.
Good to see you, brothers, and y'all smiling faces.
To you, sir.
Yes, sir. Good to see you too,
To
bro. You
you.
smiling too, look like.
Yes, sir. I'm very pumped up. I'm just listening to my brothers right now, and it's like that's the best part there. You know what I mean? Listen to being here to be able to listen to my brothers and be able to have some kind of congregation with my brothers. I'm in a town where I don't know whether there's brothers here. If they are, I haven't seen them. So when I come on here, I get a chance to be in my FOI class, if you will.
Praise
So-
be to
sir.
Allah.
So that's the best part right there. I like to lean on the best part that we can do here. And
Yeah.
I think that you know, we have a lot of things going on with us in the Nation of Islam, or brothers that believe in the teachings of the Elijah Muhammad that are on those teachings. Not that I'm going to take away from anybody else, but I do believe that if we the ones who are real brothers and have a real brotherhood training and have a system to bring about this brotherhood where we look at the best part. I remember my captain used to say that we need to let a brother save face. This is something that's in
Yes.
proper way of handling
Yes.
people.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Brother,
Absolutely.
you know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And this goes up and down the rank. You know what I mean? Just because a brother is up in rank does not mean he doesn't need to save face. You know what I mean? And that goes all the way up to the minister himself. You know, there's people that like to bring up errors or like to bring up problems in anyone. You know what I mean? Anybody, any person. You know what I mean? I just don't see how you could do that with somebody like, not that I'm going to glaze the minister right now, but I have to say this. I just don't see how you can continuously want to put this man down. You know what I mean? or say anything negative about this man or his family. I don't care what they did. Okay.
Right.
I know that this man did the best he said he could do, and he
Right.
also did a great thing of the best of what he said he could do.
Yes.
Right. I'm using him as an example
Right.
for us to understand how we got
Yes.
to
Yes.
treat our brothers, you know what I mean? And how we got
Yeah.
to look at the best part of our brother.
Yes.
Really very, very little that I can find that is not the best part of Minister Farrakhan
Yes.
or the Nation of Islam. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
One thing that Dr. Alim would say is that there's nothing wrong with the nation. It just needs to be organized. We have everything. We have every kind of brother, every kind of sister. We have all that we need to actually have a nation and a mosque. We have the best. Not to take away from, all the other organizations, but one thing about the Nation of Islam that really what Mr. Louis Farrakhan taught us is that we have to find a way to link with these other organizations that are Black organizations. He really emphasized that. He really emphasized, one thing I see that he emphasized was, I always go back to the way he was treated by Jesse Jackson after there was a falling out, right? How he treated and how he talked to us about Jesse Jackson. Even Dr. Collar. And Dr. Collar was someone I knew personally, and I trained with him personally. And he was a person I care about dearly, right? And to see them have a separation was devastating to brothers back in them days, right? And it still was devastating. But what the minister did and how he handled himself specifically was just like, what kind of man is this? It's going to allow something to be said, but this is what he got to say. Now, he did do a lecture and he covered on some things that were said negative about him that Dr. Collins said. He covered that. And the way he did it as a brother,
Yes.
we need to take a note on how he handled that.
Yes.
How
Yes.
he handled it. I'm using him as an example.
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
trying to use him.
Yes.
Even though I am.
Yes.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah, you
But I'm
right
saying,
on it, brother.
you know
You
what I
right
mean?
on it.
The way he handled
Yes.
the situation,
Yes.
you had to make a choice, right?
Yes. Yes.
Feel like you had to make a choice, but the minister say he made it so he didn't have to make a choice. You know what I
Right.
mean? He
Yeah.
made it so that their brother could come back. You know what I mean? Or we could find a way to unite.
Yes.
We could do something together. We could be together.
Yes.
See, sometimes people say so many things negative out their mouth
Yes.
that it's hard to come back, right?
Yes.
But this
Yes.
man,
Come on.
but this man,
Yes.
this man is an example of how how you would what was the saying of the lesson? I mean of the study guide, rise above emotions.
Emotions. Yes.
To the
Yes.
people of God and
Yes.
brotherhood.
Yes.
You know what I mean? How people treated him. Al Sharpton. Okay, I
Yes.
seen this man Al Sharpton beg the minister for money. Okay?
Yes.
I'm just gonna be straight.
Yes.
I've seen him do it. And now he gonna
Right.
look him in the face at the funeral of Aretha Franklin like he don't know them.
Yes, sir.
You should see the picture of that. But
Yeah.
the minister sat there as the God he was or is,
Yes, sir.
as the humble man that he is. He
Yeah.
sat there and took it all. You had Jesse Jackson on one side.
Yeah.
You had Al Sharpton on the other, and these guys acting like they don't even know the man.
Yes, sir.
But he dealt with them in a way a brother should.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
You,
so
brother.
we had a lot to learn
Beautiful.
from that as
Yeah.
an FOI.
Yes.
And that was showing us how we have to love our brother enough not see we killing each other. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We're killing each other more so than the enemy. You can look at all the police brutality all you want, but and you can have the films of all the police brutality you want. What about the film that we don't have of the brutality that we putting on each other?
Right.
You know what I mean? And the only reason why that's happening is because, you know what I mean? I think that we are not really implementing with the way the minister carries himself. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I think that Brother Michael
Yes, sir.
Brother Lewis Ali, I mean, I think that you brothers right here, by doing
Praise be
something
to
like
Allah.
this,
Yes,
is
sir.
demonstrating exactly what the minister wants us to be
Praise
like.
be to Allah. Praise be to
You're
Allah.
showing it, You're
Yes.
showing it, brother. Well,
Yes, sir.
by doing this, because
Praise be to
you know
Allah.
you could be coming at, you could be right now coming at brothers that came at the minister in
Yes,
recent
sir.
time, like yesterday.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
They
sir.
be on the
Yes,
internet
sir.
every day.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I'm talking about? You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
They be on
Yes,
the
sir.
internet every day. You
Yes.
know, talking about praying and fasting, and then after that, you talking about the minister. You know what I mean? That you can't
Yes,
be
sir.
possibly praying and fasting to master fraud Muhammad, that Allah, if you got something to say about this man anyway negative.
Praise be to
Anything,
Allah.
anybody in his family. Keep
Yes,
that
sir.
out your mouth. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Please. Because
yes, sir.
I don't like it. You know what I mean? I don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And
sir.
I
You-
believe that you could be on here, and Brother Ali could be on here just slinging mud at him, right? Just
Mhm.
slinging mud because you got the ammunition. You know what I mean? You
Right.
got the wisdom. You got the
Praise be to
knowledge.
Allah.
But you are showing this. We got to come together as brother in love, and that's what I
Yes.
say.
Yes,
No
sir.
matter, I still try to be a part of that because I think it's
Right.
good. But at the
Right.
same time, I'm always in there correcting the situation.
Right. Praise
As
be to
long as
Allah.
as long as the brother needs to be corrected, we need to correct him. We need to be there to correct him. And if you're gonna do it in public, it has to be corrected in public. Just like Elijah Muhammad did when Wallace went against the nation, he made him correct himself at a Savior's Day. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
After that,
Yes, sir.
if he wanted to come back in the mosque, he had to correct himself in front of the believers. So we got to check them all in public, you know, respectfully. I don't believe in slinging and calling people
Right.
names, and
Right.
I don't believe in doing all that. But I do believe that we need to address that issue, and
Mhm.
we need to also elevate ourselves like you're doing here. You know what I
Praise
mean?
be
To
to Allah.
become, look at the best part.
I really appreciate your observation, brother. On that note, truly, because that is truly the genuine effort, brother. And I also appreciate your point on what you said about the minister and how he handles situations. You know, if we would take a note out of that book, you know, then we would be much better at interfacing with each other, even when we may disagree. You know, so I appreciate what you said, brother Carlton. Really, really across the board on those points. And also the acknowledgement of what we're trying to, and what we are doing here, what we're engaged in, and that is to create and curate a space where there's real brotherhood being practiced, you know, and not antagonism, not operating in antagonism. We have to fly high, and this is what I was just recently, I've been doing what I call the Farrakhan in review again for me. You know what I'm saying? I've been going through and just kind of studying. And you can study a man whom God raises a certain way in different ways. And one way that I've been studying him is as a strategist. You know, I'm watching how the minister handles our Christian family. You know, I don't care what your faith is, brother. Just look at how he's so kind to the Christian brother and sister. Like he might speak a word that points out what needs to be corrected, but that's what it applies to everybody. But then look how he talks to our Jewish brother, our Hebrew brother in the ranks. Look how he talks to even a follower of the Imam. Look at how he handles the people. See, we have to learn that. That's why I said he is a supreme brother. It don't matter. The disagreements are what they are. No way human beings gonna live on earth without it, brother. Allah made it that way. Allah made it where we're gonna have conflict. That's the part of nature, even around the minister. And why? To your point, you know why? So that he could be an example. We could see a real example of how you fix a situation. Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah of Arabia, you know, when they was trying to create the treaty, the truce, you know, and he signed his name, Messenger of Allah. They said, no, we ain't down with that, you know. And the prophet was like, okay, you know, and the companions, everybody was standing firm on their position. He is the messenger of Allah. He is the messenger of Allah. And the prophet was like, no, that ain't no trip. I'm gonna go ahead and strike messenger off of that and just put, you know, Muhammad on there. See, he understood the bigger picture versus just trying to position yourself around a title or even what might even be the truth about yourself. But he cared more about the outcome than the overture, you know. And I think that that's the example that we're trying to follow. And I promise you, brother, you really make a point, because that's exactly what we're on over here. That's exactly what, by the help of Allah, your brother is on over here from the very moment that I believe Allah put this vision in our heart, as I was sharing with Brother Lewis, you know, sitting there with Minister Lucius B.R. while the minister was teaching in the mosque. And I remember, because it was something that was paining my heart. You know, this subject, brother, pains my heart to see us, because, you know, I come from streets, I come from hard knocks, but I always had a big heart, and I always had a heart of love for our people, and you know, just way Allah blessed the brother to be. You know, I can't even help it. It ain't even a choice. So, you know, the love was always there, you know, even though the path was tough. And so when I came into the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I came in for the love, bro. I came in to win. I came in because I found out something about the black man that was valuable that I did not know. And then I started knowing, I fell more and more in love with that. And then I fell in love with the idea, the brotherhood. The brotherhood. That's what I longed for. I remember the brother who was a drug addict, you know, and he was struggling with that. And I remember this same brother taught me how to read the Quran, because he had experienced this in the penitentiary. I remember same brother, you know, the brother showing me how to make salat in my earlier, you know, what he had learned about the principles of salat, and I'm learning from the brother. And I remember one time the brother fell on hard time. He backslid, he fell, and he came to me. And I remember telling the brother, I said, brother, based on what we were talking about, I said, make wudu, brother, make ablution, brother, pick yourself up and let's keep it moving. I took and encouraged the brother to take your focus off of the poor part and put yourself back into motion, brother. Don't worry about that. We just keep driving. See, brotherhood is everything, man, especially to a black man who has been beat down his whole entire life. You got to understand what we're up against. See, so for me, I'm sitting there with Minister Lucius, and Minister Lucius is the dean of ministers. And I sat next to him, the minister teaching, you know, getting ready to teach. And I said, Minister Lucius, because again, this is boiling up in you, brother. The first lecture I taught was on this principle, on this subject. The first time I talked to a group of men in a Nation of Islam formalized way was this subject: we must first be brothers. So I'm just showing you how the God worked full circle. And so when I'm sitting there, I said, Minister Lucius, I said, is the brotherhood anywhere like what it was when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was present? And he threw his head up in the air like a man agonizing in pain. He was like, absolutely not. You see, and that's not a strike against the minister or anybody else. It's just saying that we had not yet evolved to the energetic level of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad pushed out at that point. But there were still some things that needed to develop. So when the synthesis comes, which is the work of the minister, he's giving us a rooted relationship with how to ultimately become brothers. So when we hit that mark, we will never fall again out of the principles of brotherhood. But when he said that to me, it was clicking more and more. That's what we have to focus on. I don't like being around a brother. He looking at me and sizing me up, man. You know, because he see my gifts. I don't like that, man. I don't like the feeling, and I'm sensitive to that. I'm sensitive to jealousy and envy. You know what I'm saying? I'm sensitive, and I don't like it, bro. I'm just telling you straight up, man. When I first experienced envy, I did not like it. I didn't even try to, you know how they say when somebody envious, envy is hidden. So the person who's the victim of envy can sense it and know it's happening, and the person who's envying may know it's happening or may not. But when they're doing it, you can react to the envier. And if you're reacting, then the minister taught us you become a participant in the envy. See, so I remember learning that, you know, and I remember experiencing that. And I remember how it pained my heart, bro. On God, it pained my heart. I hate the competition. You see your brother talking to you now. You see a gift, or Brother Lewis taught he's a gift, and you so busy trying to control the narrative instead of just letting the gift be. That's God coming through your brother, man. Let it come through. And if he's got something to work out, let him work it out. Or touch him up later on and say, brother, maybe if you try this, because I saw this in love, do this. Not in disease or need to control, but in love. Say, brother, you know what? I thought about this, brother. When you were talking, it inspired me, and Allah put it in my spirit to tell you this, brother. And then that helps your brother to be a better man, man. See, We got to go to war against this kind of mentality all the way across the board. I think Brother Lewis, and then I don't know if we had already talked because I got clipped off again. But if you hadn't spoken, I wanted to hear from some of our other brothers, and I want to come back around because you're a booster, and I'm not talking about the one that the homegirl I'm talking about the locomotives when you're driving an engine and you need that, you got to have something to keep that thing moving, brother. So you're a booster engine to what we're doing here because you're a part of the body of it, But if any other brothers, just before I go down the line, we got a brother named KH on the call. Would you like to say something, brother?
Brother Michael, there's a couple of brothers of mine I invited on tonight.
Okay.
Kid, Trey,
Okay.
Ty.
Hear from the brothers.
Yes, sir. There you go, brother Jay. There you go.
We just want to hear from you, brothers, if you like. Thank you, brother Jay. Appreciate you going out there being a fisherman, brother.
Oh yeah,
Because
many
that's
good
what
men.
makes this beautiful, brothers. When we
Yeah,
get
many
more brothers
good.
involved.
Yeah, good men, fishermen. and-
Yes, I know if they connected to you, brother Jay, that like they say, a tree by the fruit it bear. Brotherhood, by the kind of brothers he rotating with. So I already know. Yes, sir. But brother K, H, you like to say something, brother, just to hear your voice, brother. You can weigh in however you like.
Nah, no doubt, no doubt.
To just
Appreciate y'all.
say
Good
peace. We
evening,
good
to
with
y'all.
Peace, good brother.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah,
sir.
brother Jake brought
Peace,
me in
good
here.
brother.
Peace. We have a lot of good conversations every time we connect. So I was happy to be invited in here, and I see the OGs talking about the same things that we talking about, just on a higher level. So I appreciate hearing all of that.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate you,
Well,
good brother.
we appreciate you, brother. And we know we on our way when we got soldiers like you, brothers. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? We all got to be paying it forward in the best way that we possibly can. We got to pay it forward and build this brotherhood. I got one of the principles in there is talking about and I'm not saying that I'm old because I'm still be trying to hold that. I'm a young G, you know what I'm saying, on everything. But
No
I'm
doubt,
an older
no
young
doubt.
G. You know what I'm saying? I'm an older young G, brother K.
All right.
But I will say this though. I do have, experience and life experiences and years on this planet. And then in one piece that we talk about, there's a scripture say older men for war, older men for counsel, and young men for war. You know what I'm saying? So even when Brother Jay said, we have to, you talking about what we show it, is what we show in words. I'm paraphrasing, but the point is that's where we at right now. We're in a season of execution, So we welcome you, brother, to the call, man, and thank you so much for waiting. And I think we got Brother Caleb. You want to say something real quick, brother? Just want to hear from our brothers.
Yeah, I will speak. I appreciate that. First off, to my brother Elijah, man, congratulations on the move. I wish you well out there, man, for sure. We'll stay connected though. And just to kind of piggyback off what you were talking about and what we've talked about in the past, like iron sharpen iron. And it is important, like I said, to be brothers first because we already have so many things that's put up against us, whether it's our skin tone, whether it's what we wearing, the neighborhood we grew up in. So in regard to uplifting someone and seeing the best in another brother is amazing. I think that's actually a skill when you can look at the next brother and be able to tap into something that maybe he doesn't even quite know that he has, but to encourage him to bring it out. That's what makes us the best. And as you said, with the social media and stuff, man, when we were growing up, we were a little censored, as we talked about before, man. So it was things that we weren't exposed to, things that we didn't have to worry about. To these days, we do have to stand on our own 10 and take heed to what's in front of us, and we can't forget where we came from. Yes, it's about where we're going, but the old school is what got us here. And you gotta stay grounded and believe in what you believe in, and just continue to bring the best out of yourself as well as the people around you. I know when I was playing basketball, sorry to be long-winded, I remember playing basketball and that was my biggest thing. And I still preach that to my son and the players that I coach. In order for me to get a scholarship at that time, I had to make sure that my teammate was in position to get a scholarship. You know what I mean? And I feel it's the same walk in everyday life, So I really do appreciate this platform that you have brought to us. Everybody on here, man, you all have something special. And put yourself first sometimes. We always think about, I'm just speaking in regards to the men on here. I know we always put everybody else first, our family, our friends, our jobs, things. Make sure you guys are, taking heed and being conscious and knowing what's going on with yourselves, and I just wish you all well. I hope you all are doing well. I know you are, obviously, because you are here with us, but whatever ain't going well, you know, just know that better days are coming for sure.
Man, that's all love,
Yes,
brother,
sir.
and
Yes,
spoken
sir.
very well. And appreciate you, brother, because we've been seeing you've been in
Man,
the
you
cipher.
appreciate it.
You've been all up in the cipher, brother. I see you all pretty
Mhm.
much just about every week you up in
Yeah,
here.
man.
And
Hey, man, I try.
appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you having this. Thank you all of you guys.
Yes,
Sincerely.
sir. Thank you so much,
Stay
brother. It's just good
connected,
to hear
brother.
the
Stay
brotherhood
connected.
growing, man. You know, and hearing that powerful expression coming out of brothers. That's why we want to hear from you because every brother has this specialized gift, man. This is the way that God made it, brother. You know what I'm saying? And when
Right.
you can appreciate that, brother, then you looking for that. You looking for God. See, you know what I'm saying? You looking for God in your brother. And I like what you said, brother Caleb. It is a skill. You start to develop it. You know,
Yeah, for
it's like a
sure.
skill to be able to seek out the good and look for the good in your brother, man. Like, and after a while, it becomes pleasurable to the man. You know what I'm saying? That's what real love is. Like, man, I be
Yeah.
in love with the bro. I've been around some soldiers, man, that some of them are big statues. I've been around physically big, strong
Yeah.
men. I've been around brothers who are very eloquent in their
Yeah.
speech. I've been around brothers who are artistic, fashionably different. I've seen all types of brothers, and I'd be like
That's
in
right.
awe. I'd be like, this is a beautiful brother. You know what I'm saying? I even been around brothers out on the block who are street brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. For
Man, I
sure.
see the art, I see the beauty in all my brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and that's what I'm looking for. And when I look at them, I'm looking at them through that eyeball. And what
Yeah.
and I know if they're real black man, if Allah blessed them to have a spark in them, they can see it. They can see me looking at them with adoration and respect and honor because I'm looking directly at the God and I'm also humble. I'm not coming
That
at them
part.
like, oh, I know something. I'm so smart and I'm so wise. Let me teach you, nigga, how to get about these streets, nigga.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna say, my brother, I see you, God. I mean, brother, wow. I ain't even talking about where he at. I'm just
That
talking
part.
about what I see in the future. I mean, brother, you got some leadership, brother. You a great man. It's a pleasure to meet you, brother. This is how I talk to black men all
Yeah.
the time. You won't find a black man that will tell you I talk anything different. I'm always talking the uplift language to the brother, man. I don't give a damn what his condition is. See,
For
so
sure.
you're right, brother.
Amen.
You know, you gotta look for the best in your brother, man.
Yeah, for
Period.
sure. For
Man,
sure.
brother, you lit me up with that one, brother. You
Man, I
lit me up
appreciate
with
it.
Yes,
that one,
he
Yeah.
brother.
did.
You lit me up with that one. We got brother Harrison. I see you on the call. Come behind that.
Hot Black Coffee Party. That's
Oh,
Brother
that's brother
Harrison.
Harrison. Yeah, come on, brother Harrison. We know you got some vibration to put out here. Yeah, I remember brother Harrison. Yeah.
How y'all brothers doing
We
today?
good, brother. We good. Good to hear your voice, soldier.
Blessings.
Yes.
Man, again, it's a pleasure and an honor to be amongst dignified men. You know, I think again, integrity is what I always harp on. I like to go there. Proverbs 11:3 says, integrity shall guide upright.
Yeah.
Right? Well, the earth is full of four-footed beasts because everybody is on all fours. To be upright means you have to be standing, like an animal on all fours. But we know that babies crawl around. It's once they gain a sense of integrity, they're able to walk, right?
Teach.
And we
Hey,
also
talk, young man.
recognize as we're building ourselves as one body, man, every structure in life that's built or erected has to have integrity. So I
That's
keep
right.
harping on integrity. Back in the day, word was bond.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
At the end of the day, man, we need to just make sure that we stay dignified and always have integrity. Integrity ain't yours, right? That's life.
Yes.
Integrity is something that belongs to life. But if you want to be a part of life truly, you gotta have integrity, black man.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm gonna say peace.
Brother, peace, brother. But you came in there and dropped
Well,
a
I
whole
got
bomb.
it.
You dropped a
Peace.
whole bomb on it. I'm gonna let you. I mean, like a whole bomb. What you gonna say, brother Lewis?
That's Brother Harrison. Y'all will get to meet him when you come down
Yes.
to Louisiana.
Yes.
But he did trigger a thought. All of y'all really triggered some thoughts because part of our theme for the 30th is Psalms 127, and it goes right into what Brother Harrison highlighted. And that is, except
Come
the
on.
Lord build a house,
Come on.
the labor is in vain.
Mm.
Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh, but in vain.
Mm.
See, a lot of times we're doing things for vanity. We're not doing them for integrity and for the glory of God. And that's why I made mention a few weeks ago about when we first left so-called slavery, physical slavery, one of the first things we wanted to do was get together as brothers and build a church, build something that we could go into and say, thank you, God, for delivering us from these cruel slave masters.
Mm.
Then we started building schools. We started building houses. We started building communities. And I always tell you and Brother John, when you say, how you doing, Brother Lewis? I always say,
Fight the devil.
what?
I'm fighting the
I'm
devil.
fighting the
Still
devil.
fighting the devil. Yes, sir.
See, this is real. And Harrison will tell you I say it too. But it's not just external, but it's an internal that causes us to be idle. And in the idol, we become idol worshipers. And in the Quran, it calls it the idolaters. I just say it slower, like down south. I'll do it later. We may not have time to do it later, Brother Michael.
That's right.
We can't afford to be idol worshipers, where we circumvent around people, whether it be Young Miami or Cardi B or Jackie B. We have to circumvent around the truth, and we have to build. Now, how do we stay in fight shape? We have to be in the right environment, around the right culture, and listening to the right words or combination of words. This is important to understand that God didn't come to make us a church, a mosque, or a synagogue. He came to make us a nation. And in the nation, it don't just have one so-called religion as you think. Everybody is circumventing around the truth. So we're not worried about what you call yourself. The thing about the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, especially expressed by Minister Farrakhan, is he showed us the universality of religious expression, but the purpose of religion must be to build. And how can you tell if you're circumventing around God or the devil? If you're circumventing around the devil, you're not going to build anything for yourself, your nation, or your people. You're going to always be busy thinking about what you can create to serve him. And so this is I was thankful to Allah to hear that young man, nephew, that he made a move. One of the pillars of Islam is to travel. Did you all know that?
Yes, sir.
See, it's not a requirement in so-called Christianity to move, to make a pilgrimage. But we are required to travel. We travel in the earth. And Brother Carlton called to mind something that I think all of us should take a closer look at as we build our brotherhood, and that is the proper handling of people by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I just want to share a little bit, Brother Michael.
Yes, sir.
And this is for laborers and Muslims in general, but it's for Black people and Black men and women in general. Point number one, have a genuine concern for our people. Point number two, make a person feel wanted. Do you hear that? Make people feel wanted. Make a weak Muslim strong. Make a weak Black man strong, okay? Let a person speak up. You see how Brother Michael, he lets us speak up. He lets Carlton, he lets all of us Share our views. We want to hear your mind. Let a person speak up. Do not suppress ideas. Let a person relieve their mind of problems. That don't mean puke upon people, brothers, but you can call your brother when you have a problem. Don't be quick to charge insubordination. In other words, don't be thin-skinned. Soon as somebody says something, you think it's slack talk or insubordinate. Listen to people's problems. Remember that Islam is more than an expression, greetings or handshake, okay? The most valuable assets, keep this in mind, brothers. The most valuable assets are the worker bees, aka the followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, now Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Just few more quick points. What are some causes of disunity and division? Number one, speaking a different language. We must speak the language of the people, that other laborers, so we may deal with each other. They're not talking about English, Spanish, Arabic. There is a language frequency that we have to be on. And if you don't speak to one another regularly, you can get lost in the conversation, even though you're speaking English, French, or whatever you're speaking. But it's important for us to be on the same vibration as we speak the language. This show, We Must Be Brothers First, has a culture and a language that is not divisive to it. And as you listen more and get in tune more with the quarterback of the show, which is Brother Michael, and maybe the running back is Brother John, maybe Brother Lewis is a sixth man, but nevertheless,
receiving that light.
Nevertheless, we got to speak the same language.
Yes,
a cause of division, lack of education, denying. When you don't understand the teachings of the program, that is a lack of education. Okay, so all of us have to be able to get more in tune with the program, because ultimately we're going to put this program before Congress and all of our people. We must make ourselves available to all of the material and information. That's why Brother Michael is highlighting the importance of reading that is in the Quran. That's what I'm saying. When I say get in fight shape, and Harrison and different people who know me, they will attest to this. I don't want any brothers being ignorant, not reading and studying daily, and then sparring with one another, where you pick up the phone or get into the company of one another and spar with the ideas, shake the ideas out toward one another, level set black men that you are around on the teachings and the program and the building of a nation for our women and our children, okay? Lack of friendly understanding. You can't understand people if you don't have a friendly understanding, where you want to argue and bicker about things that don't even matter, asking each other retarded questions like who shot JR? Was it Sue Ellen? Was it Bobby Ewing? Most of the people don't even remember the show called Dallas from back in the day. So who shot JR? Or give it to me for a pork chop on a Friday night dance contest. These are not relevant things for us to talk about in the general public or even in private for that matter. So we want to have a friendly understanding, all right?
Teach, brother.
Of ideas, laws, and customs, keeping the Messengers program as our goal. Remember, a society of men or a group of men for one common cause. Another cause of division is barriers to transportation. Some of us, we can't get around like we should. But if we talk regularly, we probably could ride with each other. We should strive, according to the proper handling of people, to see each other regularly. When I was a boy growing up in the church, they used to have what is called revival. I believe that the Muslims need some revival. When I joined the Nation of Islam, Minister Farrakhan was crisscrossing this country, and therefore, for security purposes, we traveled with him. Dr. Khaled, Mother Tanetta, Dr. Ava Muhammad, Brother Jabril Muhammad, Brother Rahman Muhammad, Brother Abdullah, Brother Biat. There was always someone crisscrossing the country. We had a different speaker that came in from out of town almost every week or two, every 3 weeks. So we couldn't be stale. We had to stay in fight shape and stay sharp. We watched the videos of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan constantly, and that was the means of our conversation. This is what I mean when I say stay in fight.
Teach,
shape.
brother.
Hear
Teach,
about the
brother
football
Lewis.
game,
Teach.
the basketball game. I love the boxing game, watch fights every day. But the thing of it is that when we're talking as brothers, we want to talk about our program and building a reality for ourselves. The last one is barriers to communication. Keep in touch regularly. Let other people know your whereabouts. You should not be going places. There was a young man in Mississippi recently that came up missing. He's hanging out with Caucasians. You a Muslim. You're not even supposed to be going anywhere where there are crowds of Caucasians. Are you aware of that? You don't go to no place where it's all Caucasians talking about you going on a fishing trip. You're out of order. And I'm not saying that, Brother Michael, to be offensive, but the ignorance is a cause of division.
Yes,
and
sir.
So these are just a few things. I think Brother Carlton kind of triggered me, but if you don't have the proper handling of people, then you can avail yourself to the material. We can get you the material when you come here to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I did speak with our brother who is a Christian pastor, and he not only did he agree and is excited about us coming to his church to do a live podcast on We Must Be Brothers First, but he already booked Brother Michael to come back on August the 7th. And if anybody tells you anything about Pastor Domain, he is a brother. And so he at everything that we do here, where we're trying to build something, he's excited about that. Many of the pastors are excited. We just got to be able to balance the talk with the action.
Come on.
And marry the talk to the action, and we ain't going to have any problem. Our people are going to be cheering us on and clapping us on. I was kidding with Sister Stephanie. I said, you know, maybe I wasn't kidding. Wouldn't it be wonderful if women had dressed decent now, but had pom-poms, and all while you're got a hammer in your hand, got a shovel in your hand, and you're building something, they're just saying, you can do it, you can do it. And they're cheering us on.
We be out there doing it, brother.
Wouldn't that be beautiful, brothers?
It'd be beautiful.
Honk if you have signs out. Honk if you want to build a nation. Make Uptown Baton Rouge great.
Come on, teach, brother.
Thank you, brothers.
Thank you, Brother Lewis. Brother Lewis, that's exciting, brother, because I can feel it. Because I think, you know, there's nothing that can motivate us in such a way and inspire us in such a way than to have our woman, again, proud of us in the way she need to be proud of us, brother, you know, and cheering and edging us on. Remind me of the Million Man March, you know.
That's right.
I remember I was on my way to the march, brother. One of the sisters gave me upgrade on the first class. I was flying. I was first class coming into the march. I remember them sisters cheering us on, brother. When you talk about making feel like he ready to take on the world, brother, it was that kind of moment. Right. You know what I'm saying? I want to give a shout out, and I want to hear from Trey, because I think we didn't get to Trey, but I want to give a shout out to brother Les Wild on the call. Brother Les is on the call every week. You know, he be working, so he can't necessarily always weigh in on the Zoom, but we just want to give a shout out to my brother from the Lou Town. He's an amazing brother, highly spiritual brother, you know, all on the positive. You know, you gotta share some love with these brothers that be on the positive, man, that be pushing it out to the community. His mom was good people, his family good people, you know, and so just wanted to give a shout out to my brother, you know, and I think they'd be saying like wild side, but you know, but I give love to him anyway, because that's what it is, right? So just want to shoot that out. And then I thank Amatullah, Sister Amatullah, for her continued support. We just want to thank you, you know, because anybody who support, you know, we thank you so much for your support. But let me read something she posted here on our thing, and I just think it's right on point. It's from the Million Man March Pledge, and it's really in alignment with where you coming from, Brother Lewis, and Carlton pointing out the proper way handling people, which I agree. We need to get that out to every brother every brother need the proper handling people. You know what I'm saying? Just like period, point blank. You know. But it says here from the Million Man March 1995, just look how advanced and how far-seeing the minister has been in what he was giving us. But he said, I pledge that from this day forward, I will strive to love my brother as I love myself. From this day forward, I will strive to improve myself spiritually, mentally, morally, mentally, socially, politically, and economically for the benefit of myself, my family, and my people. I pledge that I will strive to build businesses, build houses, build hospitals, factories, and enter into international trade for the good of myself, my family, and my people. I pledge, and he would tell us to say your name. This is what he would tell us to say on the mall. And I remember that, Brother Lewis, Brother John. You know, I pledge that from this day forward, I will never raise my hand. Listen at this, brother, with a knife or gun to beat, cut, or shoot any member of my family or any human being except in the self-defense. I pledge from this day forward, I will never abuse my wife, striking her, disrespecting her, for she is the mother of my children and the producer of my future. I pledge that from this day forward, I will never engage in the abuse of children. Look at this guidance, brothers. Come on now.
Way
Tell me
back
if this
then.
ain't being a brother. Little children, boys, or little girls for sexual gratification, for I will let them grow in peace to be strong men and women for the future of our people. I will never again use the B word to describe
Say that, bro. Say that.
female, any female, but particularly my own Black sister. I pledge from this day forward that I will not poison my body. Oh, come on now, with drugs or that which is destructive to my health and my well-being. I pledge from this day forward, I will support Black newspaper, Black radio, Black television. I will support artists who clean up their acts to show respect for themselves and respect for the people and respect for the ears of the human family. I will do all of this. So help me God. Praise
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Praise be to Allah. And I'm like, man, that's right on point to this very moment. Brother Trey, we'd like to hear from you, brother. Just don't want to leave you out the crew here.
No, I've been over here. I appreciate y'all. How y'all feeling tonight?
We well,
good,
brother.
brother.
We well, brother. We well.
Sir, no, I appreciate y'all for the night. Back to what you were saying, Bossman. When you was talking about envy.
Yes.
That's something that I deal with as well. It's something that's like, it's not that I deal with envy, but if it deals with more so like when you feel that enviness from your brother who you are supposed to, uplift. It feels a lot different because, like you said, when you come from, we come, a lot of us come from the struggle, come from the trenches and all that good stuff like that. But we got big hearts. We got good hearts. So we meant right by people. And when you feel that enviness from your supposed to be brother, it feels more so like a disheartening type of feeling.
Yes.
When it's like, you're supposed to be here for me. You're supposed to be here for me if I really need you. But instead, you're looking at me with a side eye, or you talking about me behind my back. You're not supporting me in ways that, I support you. And sometimes that hurt. But also what I learned is that, and it's crazy, because I learned that from Brother Jay.
Yes.
I learned that from Brother Jay, where it's like, you sometimes you gotta leave the low-hanging fruit where it's at. It's like you just gotta keep it pushing on your motive and whatever momentum that you got going on. You can't let nobody else really stop that. So it's like the people who actually want to be a part, those people who actually want to be around for your growth and then also to grow themselves, those be the ones that you want to put the main focus on.
Yes.
I've been knowing Brother Jason, what, like 2022, 2023. And man, when I tell you I'm grateful for that, bro.
Praise be.
I'm 29. I'll be 29 in September. I've been knowing that man since I was 25.
Wow.
And I tell you, like the education and game that he's given me up until this very point. Even right now, like the whole time I'm over here listening to y'all, I'm over here setting up my new laptop. And it's one thing that he always told me where it's like, future proof yourself. Make sure that you ain't gotta buy another laptop.
Come on. Teach.
And he taught me that. Because when you in a mindset of desperation, you'll just grab anything. You'll just do whatever it is you gotta do just to get to the next point. And if it's one thing, like even what Brother Jay said, like, sometimes you just gotta sit with yourself and be with yourself for a little while before it can really click in yourself. And if it's one thing that he's instilled in me is that sometimes, that alone time and that solitude is not bad. It's needed because it'll give you a clear mindset on where you're trying to go and what you're really trying to do. And like I said, I thank that brother for everything, for a lot of things for me.
Yes.
But yeah, man, like I've been listening to everything y'all been saying tonight, and everything been sticking. But like you said, that envy is never really a good feeling.
Yes.
It's not a good feeling, and it's something that, like I said, he's instilled in me where it's like, you gotta lead a lit.
Yes.
You gotta focus on that community that really wants you to be a part of that community. So I appreciate y'all brothers for having me tonight, and I really do appreciate
you, brother.
Yeah,
appreciate you. Appreciate you, Brother Jay.
Yeah,
Man, it just proves what we're doing here, what we're talking about, man. Just what you just said, brother. I'm gonna start at the latter part of what you said when you just mentioned your relationship with your brother. You know what I'm saying, and how y'all interface and build and how we strengthen each other. Man, to me, that's the holy grail, brother. That's what it's all about, brother. You know what I'm saying? That's how we climb up out of this, man, and climb into not just coming out of survival circuitry, but this is how we get into advancement. We gotta deactivate the survival circuit and get into progression, creativity. You know what I'm saying? And I just appreciate just that chemistry and what Brother Jay, your contribution, and just to know that you're dealing with brothers is a beautiful thing. But Brother Trey, you said something, man, and that subject is a powerful subject because whatever Allah or God and however you believe, whatever Allah put in your face, whatever your circumstances of life is, it's a classroom. And it took me a minute because it used to hurt, literally break my heart, brother. Because I come from real, you know what I'm saying? I come up to school of hard knocks, man. I had a big heart, brother, and I still got a big heart. And I ain't got no problem with it. When I was younger, I used to fight because I didn't know. I was trying to protect the heart. I didn't know what it was. As I've matured, I understand what it is, and now I allow the energy to flow. And I'm cool. It ain't weakness, it's strength, But I remember one time an old brother named Ibrahim. We call him Father Ibrahim. He was the father of the minister that I was under his leadership. And I remember, I was young FOI, and I was told, to go to pick him up because he was moving to Iowa at that time. This is in the early 90s. And so I drove the U-Haul to go pick him up and help him pack his stuff up so he could come to be with his son in Iowa out of Chicago. And this brother, incidentally, just so I can mention him, he was a powerful brother. He used to actually, Brother Lewis and John, he ran Your Supermarket. He used to run Your Supermarket and work directly with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So he was a very influential, very special brother, very kind-hearted older man, and I had great honor of always having to talk to him. He was just, how you just have these people in your life, just great human being. But I was going through, Brother Trey, and trying to figure this thing out, man, because it just, man, I'm a street brother with a heart. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just used to keeping it real, like I don't know, I don't have that. I just wasn't made any other way, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't got fake bones in me. Ain't no hate to any brother that need to grow up out of that. But for me, it was just, you know, I just always tried to be the best and be as genuine as I can be before I came into this walk, bro. You know, I ain't saying I've been perfect. I've made mistakes, and I'm sure I've offended. But anyway, to get to the point, because I think it's something that is very beneficial, was very beneficial to me, to help me. And I remember riding, and I said, you know, Brother Ibrahim, you know, how you know, I'm asking this older gentleman, you know, how do you deal with this? A man of wisdom. I said, how do you deal with this it's envy, man? You know, because it was bothering me, man. I'm fishing brothers in, you know, and you know, and then you got brothers that just seemingly just didn't, you know, they just had that hate, just had that. I don't know, brother. Like I said, I just wasn't used to it coming from where I came from at that moment, or I never knew what it was if I was younger. And the brother said the way he learned how to deal with it, which was one of the most powerful things to help me to manage the thing that was coming in my direction, being envied or feeling that from somebody. He said, he gave me a prayer. He said, say, may Allah bless them and may Allah bless me too. You know, sounds like simple. But when I started practicing it, what happens is it started disabusing me of the charge of the negative energy that was coming from that person. I put out a positive thought, because the thing about envy is you can't fix it for nobody. I don't care what you do. You can be nice. You can be kind. You can give praise to a brother. You can build him up. You can say all of the good things you could possibly say. But when that disease strikes a man hard, that man is it's almost, as I heard the minister say, one of the most incurable of the diseases of the heart. You know, see, so I learned how to protect myself from reacting to it. And you said something very crucial and critical, which I think we all should look at, because we're talking about the best part. You know, you said something very critical, and that's where we place our attention. You see, so we have to learn how to put our attention on the thing that is beneficial and good for us. So if you got a good brother, put your attention on your good brother. Put your attention on the thing that's good and positive in your life, you know, but understand that sometimes we as men, and this is just maturity from on my part, and I'm just saying this humbly as the thought comes to me, sometimes we are put in circumstances that are designed to create a different level of character in us, to mature us, to help us to be prepared. So some of those things that I was going through as a younger man, now I know, brother, one, I try not to put myself in a position where I stimulate that in somebody. So I try to be as humble as I possibly can, not weak. Humility don't mean weak, and it don't mean lower yourself down to nothing to make somebody feel good. You know, it just is, to me, a constant acknowledgement of the greater power that's in us and the greater power that's in the universe. It's a constant acknowledgement of that. And then you're able to also constantly acknowledge that in your brother, sincerely, deeply from your heart, not feigned, but from your heart, from your soul, you're able to do such a thing, you know? And so the point, just to close the point, you know, the more we understand that we are put in circumstances to grow us, I learned that prepared me. Everything that we experience is preparing us for what it is that we have to do. And we all have an assignment. I can safely say, just because I have that experience, as the minister said, I can attest to this as well. He said, when you have experience with the God, you start to understand his ways. So I can almost like be on this call and know and hear the God greatness coming out of each brother. We don't even have any idea of the future expressions of power that many of us will be exercising in the very near future. Some of us on this call, you know what I'm saying? And then some of who may be listening in the future. Future may be when I'm not here, any of us are not here. But in the future, it may be people will benefit, that will spark a life in them and an expression of the God power in them that we couldn't even begin to fathom. See, that's the path that we on. We are leaving out of the system of being Negroes, man. We are on our way out, bro. You know, so I'm excited about that. Yeah, we got to point out the foolery. We got to identify, point out the wrong. That's a part of the atonement, Brother John, that you pointed out. You know what I'm saying? We have to deal with that, but we have to also embrace, nephew, as we talk about the greatness in us. You know, we got to start embracing that, brother. You know what I'm saying? That when I got the little song I put together, you know, the black man, I love it too, brother. You know, I'm waiting on my album to blow. Well, not my album, but our album to blow up. Because I said, man, if this joint don't blow up in my lifetime, it's gonna blow up. Because at some point, people are gonna understand the meditation of what's being said in this wisdom. It's wisdom and divine truth. It is an invincible truth. And the hook, brother Jay, is the black man is God. I know, because Allah told me so. You know, not a mystery. It's been proven. The truth been buried, but it's time to grow. See, but this hook, the constantly reminding us in whatever your system of belief, and I don't care if you're believing in metaphysics, if you're a Hebrew, you got to understand that the equation of all of those input, those integers, those mathematical components and equations are to produce God. You ain't following the God to not become God. You follow him to become him. You put your attention on higher wisdom to become higher wisdom, not to remain low or, as you point out, Jay, need to grow. From Brother Lewis always says that, you know, but you're pointing your attention to that which you will ultimately grow into. That's why we got to pull our heads up out of social media, stop letting it seduce us to sleep, and put our attention on knowledge. Brother Lewis, you said something very profound that reminded me of our early days, brother. We used to soak on, man. Some people just don't. Y'all getting clips of the minister, bro. Like, man, people getting clips of our country. Like, brother, I don't know if you've been in an arena, man, and hear a black. Listen, brother, to see a champion in a black man, brother. Like, just whatever your level of understanding is, but just to have I've been in arenas, brother, and I watched this brother. You know, like you said, brother Lewis, you know, you watch a fighter, brother. You know, you watching this brother, man, fight in the most beautiful way. I mean, just knocking everything out the park. Then come hard at your enemy, an enemy that's been abusing your people for centuries, brother. So what I'm getting to is that we used to soak on them lectures, bro. We used to soak on knowledge, bro. In the black man, we got to get back to that. I think it was Brother Kenny hit me in the inbox. We were talking about some of this stuff that was online. Brother Kenny, human beatbox, the great human beatbox, Brother Kenny Muhammad. You know, shout out to you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? But brother hit me up and he was just dropping something on me about just how we were as FOI and how we need to be retrained all over again. Man, we were studying, brother.
Get in fight shape.
Say what?
Get in fight shape.
Get in fight shape, Kenny, brother.
Is right. Brother Kenny, right.
Yes, get in fight shape, brother. We got to get in fight shape, and no matter what. Go ahead.
The brother who got a little distracted when the young lady came up, and
yes,
I guess she spent around and see, he wasn't in quite fight shape.
Right.
Had he been sharp, she wouldn't have done that.
That's
because one of the first thing you take from a woman who's seduced to the 304 lifestyle, you immediately disarm her and disabuse her of the thought that you want her vagina.
That's right.
Now, we've seen a lot of women in our life.
Yes, sir.
You know, we've seen them. They're all around, you know, really. But I've never met a woman who didn't have a vagina.
Teach.
So it's going to take a lot more than that to knock us off our post if we invite shape.
That's
now,
right.
we know that that's a weapon that has taken a lot of people
great rulers down, bro.
I was listening to Bernard Hopkins. He was going to fight an incredible fighter by the name of Felix Trinidad. Right. But he noticed Trinidad liked to load up with the left hook. So every time Trinidad want to throw the left hook, he picks his left foot up just a little bit and just steps out a little bit because he wants to load up and put a lot of power on it. So every time Bernard Hopkins seen him pick his foot up a little bit, he just jabbed. And he kept him off the whole night, and eventually he knocks Trinidad out. So you got to be able, when you see a sister dress in a certain way, on a certain frequency. You know what shot she wants to throw toward you, black man. So you got to be you got to be rooted enough in the teachings. Now they got all kind of women that have come after our teacher. Did you know that? Yeah, for many different reasons, but none of them could knock him off of his post, and they won't knock us off of our post if we're in fight shape. And what keeps us in fight shape is focusing on the mission, brothers.
Mission.
We're in a mission. We're on a mission.
Teach, brother.
Idleness creates sloppy, lethargic, weak, non-productive males who are not yet men. It can drive you back to the need to grow era of your life. But you outgrown the need to grow. Brother Michael got that right. Need to grows. And Dr. Ava Muhammad, see, we should be delivering this to our sisters to raise them in higher vibration and consciousness. She talks about 3 compartments in the mind. And the title of this book is Weapons of Self-Destruction, a study guide for women in the war against negative internal forces. See, they're stimulating the negative internal forces in the female and then using the female to seduce us off our outposts, causing us to desire to eat the poison forbidden fruit. See, when you start talking about scamming and spin that stuff, you know,
yeah, come on.
You know, almost put you in a trance until you figure out what they're doing. Now, what Dr. Ava was highlighting is that there are 3 compartments in the mind, and most of us only operate within the borderlines of 2. We never make it to the spiritual mindset. And therefore, if you only have 2 out of 3, you're considered 3/5 a human being, which is exactly what they wrote in their constitution before they said that they closed off every avenue by which light could enter our mind.
Come on,
But
brother.
it's a new day today, brothers.
It's a new day. It's a new
and
day.
It's gonna take a lot more
Yes.
than spin that stuff.
Come on.
And talking about stealing and scamming.
Come on.
Scam the white man. What kind of retarded talk is that? Who wants to skim and scam and steal when God has given us back our creative mind?
Come on.
Everything that we think of when the pressure of the teachings are laid on us are outside of the borders of the plantation. The plantation, we're all breaking free now.
Breaking
and
free.
So God has given us our ability to build a new reality. And it's good for, you know, it's good for all of our sisters and brothers.
Brother, you so beautifully said it. You said that it was almost like like violin playing, brother. Like just massaging my brain. I'm like listening to this divine truth, this brother speaking so nice, you know, just so matter of factly true, brother. You know, but it is what it is, brother. I was just thinking in my mind, the tune came up in my head, the bars, brother Jay. Before I be a slave, I'll be dead in my grave. You know what I'm saying? Listen,
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we got to rotate on them. Like you talking about Nipsey, what Nipsey is talking about the marathon, right? You know what I'm saying? So this ain't no short journey. This is a long race. You know what I'm saying?
That's
brother?
right.
This is not a short journey, and that's what the Quran said. Had it been a short journey and a near grain, they would have certainly followed thee. You know,
that's right.
This is that expedition, brother, into our truest and highest self. And you got to understand, the black man in America, the black man is unlike any other human being on earth. You got to understand, we have been put at the very bottom of everything in the entire world under the system of the worst ruler. But what does that say? That's not the pity party talk. That says that God said, I'm coming to the rejected and the despised.
That's
I'm coming to the bottom rail. I'm gonna make it the top rail to the last and make them first. He coming to a people who have been no people at all, brother. So now he put his number one self up to our zero, brother. And he's multiplying us. The conversation that we're having right now on brotherhood is solely divinely guided, believe me. Just the whole idea, Brother Lewis, as you were saying, you know, our minds are being changed. So you can't spin that with us. In a minute, we're going to kill the appetite for that kind of thing.
right. That's
We're
right.
gonna destroy your desire to even want to eat that. When that pop up, we're going to be like, put that foolery away from us. These tricks
That's
of the
right.
devil. They know what they're doing to our people. And that's why
That's
we got
right.
to stand up as some solid soldiers again, you know, and start becoming the moral superior, you know, and start just go. And I see a lot of brothers online, you know. I want to point out, it's a lot of soldiers out here, brother, that's talking, man. These brothers are having these talking head brothers. They point that stuff out like they're calling it out for what it is. And
That's
it's not
right.
an attack necessarily on the sisters, it's an attack on the agenda of our enemy. That, as you point out, Brother Lewis, it's the agenda of the enemy that is manipulating our sister to get our attention. You know, brother, what it is. If I do my head like that and a woman jumping, you already know what that means. This is what they got us saying yes and bowing to the altar of a woman's buttocks, brother.
I just want to interject and add this quick point. Some people call me the separator.
Yes, sir.
Brother John knows it. Dr. Ava called me that.
Yeah,
You
beautiful name.
I'm not here to protect those who desire to be degenerates. You hear what I'm saying? I'm not here to protect unlawful captives who want to be degenerates and criminals. I want to say that, all right? I'm here for us to give a word to all. And that word separates us. They got some people who really want to be devils. And they look our color. Did you hear that?
Yes.
I couldn't fathom that when I first joined. I thought they didn't understand the minister or hadn't heard the minister. They understood the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They understand the minister. They are rejectors of the truth. And they want to turn you away from the truth. You gotta understand that. You cannot protect a woman who wants to be a 304. She's not being one to feed her children. She's being one for clicks on Facebook or Instagram and for money. No, we've come to the end of that. We're not here for that. We want to take the good people who are not perfect people, but desire a better lifestyle. We'll build something with them.
Absolutely.
People who want to scam and want to tear down not just this world, but have the thought in their mind that wherever they go, they're going to try to tear it up. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad put us out and told us we were out of luck with them if we wouldn't change and submit and bow down to the law. No, you're not exempt from obedience to God and claim you want the peace of brotherhood. Minister Farrakhan said, we can't have peace based on our terms. We have to have peace based on God's terms, and that's the terms. And that's why I said, except we build in the name in submission to God, it's all in vain.
Absolutely.
So sometimes people will tell Black men to protect that which is indecent and that which won't come to order. You can't protect that, Black man. We don't have a brotherhood where we're going out together to do crime. We're not covering for criminal behavior that's in contradiction to the restrictive law. So we got to have that understanding about brotherhood.
Absolutely.
If you're doing something wrong, you have to repent as well as I have to repent. We can't say, accept me as I am, and I'm going to spend that stuff. I'm not going to change. I'm going to scam and I'm going to get money like that and brag about it. And you're a degenerate. And it ain't that you don't know better. See, because Minister Farrakhan has crisscrossed this world, really. And there were people sitting by you when you first heard this teaching that heard it, understood it, and rejected it. And they will not get the same benefit as those who heard the teaching, attempted to go through the process of re-engineering how we think. If we think like need-to-grows, then we have to be given, by God's grace and mercy, we were given some good news and some information, but now it's up to us to try to get in harmony with the change that God wants to bring about, not just in America, but throughout the world. No civilization will accept us unless we clean up.
Absolutely.
And we could clean up
Absolutely.
if we didn't have a teacher. And now God has given us a teacher, and some of the filthiest ones among us want to talk bad and judge the teacher.
Absolutely.
No,
And you know, we can't accept it. And you know, Brother Lewis, just to jump right in there on you, and then I want to hear from Brother John and then Brother Carlton. You know, but you make a good point. You know what I'm saying? We can't. It goes to this. And I want you to say this to add to that thought. We have to become the moral standard
compass, right?
You know, we have to see many of our people, like the book say, how will they know unless they have a teacher? Well, we have a primary teacher, but we all are responsible. I heard the minister say this recently about how we all have to be saviors. He said he didn't just send savior, a savior. He said he sent saviors after them. So we have charge on us to raise the standard. When you got a man that ain't looking at their backside, and I'm using this as a very graphic example, you know, because it's our nature to be attracted to our woman. It's natural, bro. We can't help that. But you got to understand when the minister said, just anything that is in a quickset can be weaponized in a destructive way against us. So my point is that once we raise our moral character up, where I don't care how much you're tested, my brother. Don't let them see you sweat. Don't let them see you fall. Don't look. When you see her walk by and you know what she on, don't look. And then after a while, you'll be disgusted. Once you start pushing that energy out that you're disgusted by this behavior, not a judgment against my sister, but the behavior that she has adopted because she's been under the tutelage and the leadership of another man for the last 5 centuries, maybe even 6,000 years, we can go on to say. Once we can show that we're no longer having an appetite, we start to fast and purify ourselves so we're no longer victim of that, then we start to change the climate as men. This is why men got to be responsible.
That's right.
There is a responsibility on our sisters because we do have good sisters. We have good sisters that are not doing that. It's good sisters who are trying to cover this up, whether they are in the MGT, which we give a big shout out and love to the MGT.
Mighty MGT.
The mighty MGT. Or it's just good moral, good behaved, well-behaved sisters who are righteous. We give love and a shout out to you as well, because you are understanding. It's like the minister said, you're not using that power to make your men into dogs. You shouldn't want your man to be dogged down, looking at you, lusting you, and losing his power over you.
And this is why fighting for truth is so important.
Yeah.
See, our good sister India Arie tried to give some correction to the young sister.
Yes.
And she was attacked.
Yes.
By Trick Daddy, not making it personal, but he said something, so I'm saying something.
Yes, absolutely.
By Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
Because they want money.
Yes.
And so when you're a whore, whether you're a male whore or a female whore, you do any damn thing for money.
That's right.
I'm on the other side of that equation. I like what India Arie said. She was respectful. But see, the thing that what I don't like about righteous men, that we got to flip. See, righteous men will whip your behind if you cross a certain line. I'm being very nice about this.
That's right.
I want us to get this understanding.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
We got to have some boundaries. We got to have some borders. We got to have some territory. And we're going to say what's inside of these boundaries, these women. Now, we're trying to talk to our little sister.
Right.
Not just the men,
right.
but India Arie or Sister Janet Jackson is trying to say some things also. But if you're saying some things, see, like at a certain point, righteous people got to learn to protect other righteous people.
We got to defend each other. Absolutely.
Because clearly, when a degenerate or when a hyena, see, hyenas hang together. Hyenas don't like lions, and they hate lionesses. I want you to understand the nature of the two. They're animals. They're both in the jungle, but a lion don't want to breed with a hyena. I'm not trying to say nothing ugly, but we got to get this understanding. It's time for us to get this understanding. If you're a righteous woman, you put some clothes on. You hear me? Right. So that you can get the protection of the lions. And hyenas run in packs. See? If they see a lioness female out there trying to wear clothes and be decent, she don't have to be perfect. Our women do not have to be perfect, but they're trying to be decent. So you're going to be a hyena male where you pimp women and make women into cheap women. And so if a righteous woman says something, we better back her. Do you understand, brothers? It's important for you to back righteous women. And why would you want to pick a hyena over a lioness? Except you're a hyena. This is the way we gotta shift our thinking. I'm sorry, Brother Michael, to talk so long, but I just...
Oh, no, you're fine, brother. You're fine. I want to hear from, thank you so much, but you're right about them hyenas, brother, you know, and it's an appropriate term because they just been made into dogs, you know, they're just a wild, savage, not giving a damn kind of animal that has no civilization, you know, and we do have that job of civilizing, teaching the uncivilized, the savage, you know, teaching civilization to the uncivilized, you know, and so that's what we're talking about. We're talking about what is untasteful and is right on point. Brother John, and then Brother Carlton. I just want to hear from my co-host. Where you at, Brother John?
Yes, sir. I'm right here. I'm trying to catch up with y'all because y'all shift on me a little bit.
Oh no, bring it back. You know, it's all right.
Yeah, no,
bring it back,
yeah.
you know?
No,
that's why I called him.
Yes, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, bro. I was all the points are, you know, I'm not negating anything y'all saying. I'm not saying let's shift the way that because everything is relevant. Yes. We don't believe in any coincidences. And some of these things, righteous men have to say, because, you know, as we say, Brother Lewis, men create the laws and enforce the laws. Mm-hmm. And that's what's the problem with our community today. Yes. There are no, as the word said in the beginning, there was no men to till the earth. Well, if there's no men to get to work, we got to make sure that people see us as the example of men getting to work. And they come in and, you know, beat them plowshares if they have to in the weapons and beat them back in the work tools.
That's right.
What I want to say is what we give our attention to is what lives and grows, brothers.
Teach, brother.
This is what we have to understand. And I'm going to say that again. What we individually and as a community give our attention to is what grows. There are some things that we should not be doing it to. Do we understand that the most important thing that we have, every human being have, is their attention, is your attention. You have to guard that. That is sacred. That is why there is social media. That is why there's clicks. That's where there's likes. That's why there's all this. That's what this is about. And what they have done is they have shortened our attention span.
Teach.
Goldfish. The average
Teach.
person has an attention span of a goldfish. So
Yeah.
what can you get into a goldfish? You ever watch a goldfish in the bowl? Just watch a fish in the bowl. It's here for a second, it's popping back. Then he looks up, then it pops back. That's what he's
Teach,
talking
brother.
about. None of us, it can't sit there long enough to even get what or see that, what's coming next. It's looking for what's next. And 99% of the time, there's nothing next. That's why it keeps moving. So we have to be able to guard our attention and focus on what was not necessarily next, but what's in us to create what's next. We are the creators, the makers, the owners, the cream of the universe. So we have to do that. And by doing that, we're going to ignore the poor part of your brother and settle on the best part. Because unity is built when we're looking for the best part, not when we pretend that the worst part doesn't exist, though. I'm not saying that. But we have to be honest and understand how this really works and how important your attention is. Because
Absolutely.
all this is distraction.
Teach, brother.
Period. So, you know, I always say this here. Not that nobody in here is old, but it's the youth, brother. That 15 to 21-year-old brother. What is the one bad part that most of these brothers are talking about or thinking about? Most of these brothers are talking about their mental health. Am I right, Brother Elijah?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're talking about that. That's
absolute truth.
That is what
Absolutely.
they're considering right now is their poor part, is their mental health. So we got to speak on that. We got to raise that vibration of that mental health so that their thinking can get centered and concentrate on the good part. Then we can put something in them, and then we can take this to the next level. So what I'm saying, you have to understand that it may seem simple, but this is a very huge disruptive point. I'm going to say that again. This is a very huge disruptive point. Mike made the point earlier. Old men for war, old men for counsel, young men for war. Well, if we can't teach and train younger brothers,
Wasting it. Come on, bro.
what war are they going to fight?
Come on.
If you can't get your mind right, what are you going to fight? How are we going to direct you? We was taught, Brother Lewis, that whatever the problem is, we got to solve that problem first. If that person's big toe is hurting, we got to stop the pain of the big toe before we can put anything in, period. So in order for us to get everybody's senses, to get them the best part, because our future, these 15 to 21-year-olds, they are coming. My grandfather used to say this here, and I understand it now. And I'm going to say it with how he say it with a little Creole accent. Live long enough, Shy, you'll see. In other words.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
One day I used to be your age, Brother Elijah. Now I got a son your age. Brother Lewis? Brother Mike?
Yes, sir.
Time's not waiting for anybody. How about you,
Nobody.
Brother? Huh? So
Nobody.
we cannot let any of this slip away. We have to understand that what has been done up to this point has been social engineering. We got to reverse this social engineering. But first of all, we got to let these younger brothers know that we are only going to settle on their poor part. At this point, it's the same way God said. What did Jesus say to the woman when he looked around and said,
"Sin no more. Where are your accusers?
Where are your accusers? Where are your accusers?" So we have to reach out to these young brothers and ask that question, where are your accusers? Okay?
Absolutely.
The next statement is, sin no more.
That's right.
Brother Elijah, look like you want to hop in. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go ahead.
praise
And
be to
Absolutely.
Allah.
Yeah. And before you hop in, Brother John, you just hit such a beautiful point. I just wanted to make a good transitional thought on that. And that is that we are building the engine for that as we speak. That's why we're working on what we're working on now, so we can build the infrastructure so that young brothers can have a place to go. And that's what we have to do. That's what these conversations is about. It's infrastructure. You see, and once as we get in the fighting shape infrastructure wise, then when they come, now we can facilitate them and we can hold on to them and never let them go. We started out that way. You know what I'm saying? We came into the ranks. I remember I came in a young man in my early 20s. You know what I'm saying? And the minister held on to us. He knew how to hold on us because he had the proper infrastructure in order to do so. And we got to reclaim an infrastructure that is moral and upright with the proper militancy and the proper love in order for these young people to come in. Because we, even in the ranks, have had young people in the ranks, but they leave. And the reason they leave is because we did not create the right kind of atmosphere for them to stay in. This is why this brotherhood principle is so important. And lastly, I was in a car in Chicago with a young brother. The young brother was really sad. You know what I'm saying? He was really upset. He was a believer, but he was upset, and he was just talking about his experience. And I started pointing to the buildings and I started telling him about what it is that we're looking at in this world and how we have to start thinking like God. So, in other words, we laid hands on the brother and lifted his spirit, and so, but what I realized in that moment is what I'm saying now. You got to build, just like what you're doing, Brother Lewis. You got to have something for them to do. And that's
right.
the most important thing when you're helping to transition young people out of their condition. It starts with the elders, the older generation. That's what we're doing. We're building the council for them. And then when they come and get the counsel, they can plug in wherever they feel the need to plug in and go do whatever God put in them to do. Go ahead, Elijah.
Praise be to Allah. I just was going to add on to what Brother John said about the mental health part.
Yes, sir.
What I realized about, just paying attention to social media is that they're trying to teach men how to deal with their emotions in more of like a feminine way.
Come on, bro.
And this platform is, teaching us how to overcome the emotions, how to, if you dealing with your emotions in like a feminine way, overly feminine as a man, you're not going to be able to see the best in your brother. So this platform is important to get out there. We spoke about the brothers posting or reposting and making a content type of system, because what we saying, like this stuff got to get out. And if we get a system, just like these streamers do, they got systems. Post 3 times a day at this time, or post this whatever, and then the algorithm will start catching on. Gonna have no choice but to push us out. Even if you could try to shadow ban somebody, people are gonna start seeing it. It's not gonna have a choice because this is what people are looking for. But I just wanted to say that, when I started to see the mental health thing come on social media about men's health, it kind of felt liberating. But then I started to see like how they want us to deal with it. I was like, wait, this is not how we're not supposed to just wake up and just think about how we feel all day. Because if that's the case, me personally, I wouldn't do nothing. Because the condition I'm in right now, I'm healing. I don't feel like doing a lot of things. But if I'm stuck in how I feel and all the emotions, then I wouldn't get nothing done. So sometimes you got to overcome the discomfort, of how you feeling or your emotions, and understand it more on like a God level and not like a confusion. They try to make it seem like it's confusing to figure out your mental health and you got to go do this. No, sit with yourself. Let God talk to you. Open that book up. He already told you how to live. Open that book up, and it's simple. But the white man puts it out to us and makes it confusing. Now you got a whole bunch of black men out here confused and feel like they got to go do all this stuff just to get their mental health right. The whole time, all they had to do was go sweat and read a book and get productive.
That's right.
You feel me? So that's what I want to add to what he said.
That's beautiful. Brother Carlton. I'm sorry, brother. What was that, beloved?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Brother Carlton, my brother.
Brother Elijah, man, he brought up, Brother Elijah tore that up right there, because
yes, sir.
I was just thinking about that, man. My son and I were talking about that earlier today. Exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
We all have some things that we have to deal with. This is not what I was going to say, but Brother Elijah got me on that. Anyway, we all have the things that we have to deal with in our mind, in our spirit. I mean, we all, sometimes I just want to just wake up in the morning and just punch somebody, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And sometimes I just want to wake up in the morning and I don't want to get up, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't want
Yeah.
to get up, but I gotta go. I don't want to deal with the people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just don't want to deal with nothing. But, you know, and then of course you can go through that all day long and you ain't gonna get nothing done. Very true, Brother Elijah. Very true. We
Yes.
got to get up and get it going. That's why I love the FOI, because the FOI say get on up and get it done. Let's go.
Facts. And once you, I want to add, once you get up and get going, you get out of that mindset. You just
Yes,
gotta
sir.
get up and get going.
Yes, sir. Move around, move around. Yes, sir. But anyway, what I was going to say on top of that, I know this is not necessarily on, it's kind of on the subject, because what I'm talking about is the Nine Ministries.
Yeah,
And
I
I know
remember.
that, yeah, the Dr. Aleem and the group had the Nine Ministry Conference and
Congress.
Congress.
Yeah, I was
They're
on the
trying to
call.
do
Some of
it.
it. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And I was on the call the whole time, and so many people came. And there was a brother that I met on the call. I don't know how to pronounce his name properly, but his name is Ramus Yanis. Anyway, he's from the Nation of Islam too. And, you know, he's developed, you know, the Nine Ministry a website. I don't know if Dr. Aleem knows it or whatever, but Scott, we got so many things going on, so many brothers doing so many. We just need to get with each other in the
Yes, sir.
programs that we're doing and implement each other in those programs. I think that this particular program and that website and Dr. Aleem need to be linked all together. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Because we gotta, it's so much work to do. I mean, we need a
Yeah.
hospital, we need an economic system. The
Yes,
reason why
sir.
the young brothers leave, and this is why I left, I was in the nation for probably about 4 years, and then I left.
Yeah.
I've always been in
How
the
many
teaching.
was that, brother? You said 40?
About 4 years, four.
Okay.
Like they, you know, like Master Muhammad only stayed for 3.
Right.
I was there for 4, and
Okay.
I've always been following the teaching.
That's not quite the same, bro, but go ahead.
Right, but go ahead, I get your point, brother. You counting. Go ahead, finish your thought. Yeah.
If you understand my travels, you would see it. But
Yes.
let me
Sir.
just tell
Yes.
you, I've always been a follower. Okay, I've always
Yes,
wanted
sir.
to be in the mosque. And when the Nine Ministries came, I wanted to do something as a young man. I wanted to build something. I wanted to have an economy. I wanted to have businesses. I wanted us to be able to invest in each other. I wanted to be able for us to buy buildings, and I wanted to be able to employ my brothers. When I was a lieutenant in the mosque, number 4, I employed my brothers. We found ways to make money. So when we ran with the minister, we had money. You know what I mean? We had a ride and money. We would go rent us a car. We would be in the entourage. We had all that stuff set up. We was the baddest squad in the nation. But
Of course.
anyway, yes, sir. But anyway, my thing was to try to get us involved in real estate and all of these things. And we have these things going on. We have to get together and put the proposal together, see what the brothers doing, and see how we can implement ourselves in that situation, because we got to test the brotherhood, because we
Yes,
must
sir.
test the brothers, and now we got to
Yes, sir.
test. Okay,
Yes, sir.
can we really do this thing of building the Nine Ministries? Can we
Yeah.
can we really build a nation
Yes.
behind being brothers? And we
Yes.
can, yeah.
We
I'm gonna answer
can.
the question. We can, and
We
we gotta
can.
put it to the test though, because
Yes, sir.
we're not going to always agree. You know what I mean?
Right. That's right.
You know what I mean? Like the brothers were saying, yeah, 3 years they just, but we don't always agree.
That's
Just
right,
we don't.
brother.
But we can sit together and find out
Yes,
where
sir.
we can come to a consensus. All of those brothers I'm
Yes.
mentioning, all the things that happen in the Nine Ministries, and you got Malik Shabazz, you got all of these brothers out there, and we all don't agree, but we do agree on one thing: that Allah
Yes.
came in the person of Master Muhammad, and that the Elijah Muhammad is his messenger. We
Right.
believe that. Okay, we believe that the minister is his divine reminder. Let's full stop, because it can elaborate. You can elaborate on all of that stuff. But
Right.
that's the bones of it. That's the backbones of it. And if we
Right.
could just do that and stop talking about each other and start doing something, stop putting the clean glass up, forget about
Yeah.
what didn't do or who didn't have this and the money just didn't go that way, that didn't go this way. Yeah, it didn't happen. Now we know. Now we know why
Right.
it didn't happen. Now we
That's
got to do
right.
it better. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
We know
That's
what
right.
happened. This messed up, that messed up. And now we
That's
got to
right.
make sure that don't happen again.
That's
And
right.
if we sit down and talk and have a consensus, there's ways for us to prevent that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lean on that best part of trying to get it done right.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's
Yes.
there for us to do. So I'll be putting out information about what everybody's doing. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So
Appreciate that
somehow
too, brother.
get involved. I put out your information, brother,
Yes, sir.
because it's
Yeah.
very important that we do
Yes.
this.
Yes,
And I was
sir.
telling the brother that I was telling the brother Yassan, brother Ramus, I gotta get his name right because he got these names and I just don't know how to pronounce them. But anyway, nonetheless, he's a good brother. I
Yeah.
sent him to you, brother, in
Yes,
terms of
sir.
what he was doing. So you can look at it and maybe y'all can talk and you can
Yes,
go on his
sir.
program
Yeah.
or what he's doing. He has a podcast or he has a Zoom just similar to this one, not a Zoom, but
Right.
on a different type of
Right.
thing. He comes on and he talks about what he wants to get done for the 9 ministries and he talks about his part that he wants to play in the 9 ministries and his is in technology. So
Yes.
it's something that we need, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It's something that we need to go in and talk about.
Yes,
And
sir.
then that's on, say, I think Tuesday. But then then there's Wednesday, then there's Thursday again. And we get this continuous brotherhood thing going on where we continuously dealing with each other. So it
Yes,
won't be
sir.
a hard deal for us to get down to Louisiana with our brother Louis Ali, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because we've
Yeah.
been talking to him. So now we feel comfortable with him. We can get on down there and do this
Yeah.
thing because we know him like a brother, right?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I know him
Yes,
like a
sir.
brother. I want to get down there myself. I'm working on it,
Yes.
brother. I want to get down
Yes,
there
sir.
myself. I'm
Yes, sir.
excited about it. All the
Yes,
things
sir.
that's going on. I want
Yeah.
other brothers to know about it. Why don't we get that? Why don't everybody, all the people that came to the call, the Zoom, and it's everybody's on here. Why don't we just go on down there? What
That's
the heck?
right. That's
You know what I
right.
mean? Why can't we get
That's
with our
right.
brothers and see what we can do? And we could talk about all of these things. You know what I mean? We can stay
That's
up
right.
all night long
That's right.
and just vibe
That's right.
it.
Bill.
When I
Bill.
was
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna stop right here, brother. I know everybody. I talk a lot, but sometimes. But
That's all
anyway,
right. You all right? You hitting
I'm
it.
gonna tell you this. One of the most beautiful things that happened when I first joined the nation, or while I was in the nation, I was in school, right? And I was staying in the student house and all that kind of stuff. And I started coming to the mosque, and the brothers ended up fixing up the basement in the mosque so the brothers could stay down there. And so I moved out because I was in the student house, so I was seeing all kinds of women's, you know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
so I didn't get away from all that. Okay, and I knew it. I knew back then. So I know what the brother's
Yeah.
dealing with, whatever he dealt with seeing the booty, right?
Right.
So I had enough sense to know I needed to get away from that. And I
Right.
moved with the brotherhood. And
Yeah.
I tell you, brother, I had to go to school in the morning, I had to work, blah, blah, blah. But we just went and just talk, and just had this dialogue and this
Yeah.
conversation back and forth, on and on and on. And finally we started doing stuff. That's when
Yeah.
the Dope Busters came up, and that's when we ended up getting the properties, and we ended up doing
Yeah.
all those things. It started in the basement of the mosque where we were staying,
Praise
and
be to
the brothers were living together.
Wow.
So we gotta get together, you know what I mean? And just have
That's
a night
beautiful.
where we just talk. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Assalamu
You're right,
alaikum,
brother.
brother.
Well, thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much, brother Carlton. That's such a beautiful message, brother, because you're right on point, brother. And that's how we get to where we're going, brother. You 100% right. We got to get over whatever is interfering with us, where we disagree at. We got to focus on what we can agree on, brother. I'm pushing that. That's the agenda. I know that there's differences, and I know there's differences in different parties, and I talked to some of my brothers, but I want to build and try to get to this point. Because once we get to the point where we can focus on exactly what you're talking about right now, that's when we're going to start making the most amazing progress that we ever made. And it's really going to end up, I forget how the minister worded it, but it was a kind of a way that he used a certain language about this love, that once we develop a certain love, how it would totally just erase all of the things that we're divided on. You know what I'm saying? Once we start making progress, man, we, in the kind of way that we need to make progress and start seeing wins, man, we ain't finna be tripping about the foolery. We can still have our conversation sidebars and all that, but we're gonna focus on the win. When we got a hospital, when we got a hospital and we got some land and we got neighborhoods and we feeding ourselves again, you know, and doing what we're supposed to do, getting away from all this bad water and everything that we've been affected by. And when we really start winning like that, then all of this will go away. All of the rest of the madness will go away. But we got to start somewhere, you know, and we start by at least being mature enough to look at the best part.
Can I say this one thing, sir?
Yeah.
The small hats, okay?
Yes.
They don't like each other all the time. They don't know.
That's
They
right.
don't always do. They got different tribes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they're in every field of endeavor. They're in it because they have a conversation all the time about doing these kinds of things.
That's right.
They have a dialogue or whatever, doing all these things. So they're in every industry, and they're thinking about how they can get into the mind of us.
Yes.
So they can really take over being the chosen people because they know who we are.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? And they know we're supposed to have these things right here that they got. You know what I mean? That we're supposed to be in every industry. And if we're there in those industries, including the entertainment industry, we will be able to turn the minds away from the filth that we see.
That's right.
By stage, we'll be able to turn the filth out of the minds of the people. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Women will want to be doing that because they'll have men that don't, like he said, don't appreciate that. So I'm sorry, I don't want to go on, but that's
praise be to Allah.
a part of the change. We got to do it.
Yes,
we have to do it.
We got to do it, brother.
I'm looking forward to getting my brother Louis Ali and getting all the brothers, and I'm going to encourage that. I need to get more information about it, brother Louis.
Yes, sir.
So I can let the brothers know, and I can prepare myself as well.
Yes, sir. We'll be getting some more information to you as we get closer. Thank you so much, Brother Carlton. Brother Jay, and then we're going to get ready to close out because I think we're going to wrap right up and right off of the heels of Brother Jay. Go ahead, Brother Jay.
Hey, no problem, brother. I just kind of wanted to, I know we switched topics a little bit, but kind of swing it back on to, I know we were talking about the mental health aspect.
Yes.
I want to touch that delicate because, you know, I don't want to ever speak on something that I don't know anything about.
Yes.
You know, so with that being said, I'm sure there's people that really go through that I do think is kind of like overexploited, if you will, now amongst you know, Black men. And one of the things I was talking to Brother John about the other day, you know, this new study, which is cited, you know, documented fact about men's testosterone levels being lower.
Yes.
You know, and all this kind of go back to the teachings, you know, economics, you know, preparing your own food. But what nobody really talk about is a lot of the marijuana, you know.
Yes.
They're just smoking their brains out all day and the chemicals in it. But I wanted to touch on it from a psychological term. You know, like I always say, the study of the human brain. You know, I want everybody to make note of this or look this up. It's something called DLS, delayed life syndrome. Delayed life syndrome, also called deferred life syndrome, is a cognitive pattern where individuals constantly sacrifice present happiness and fulfillment while waiting for an ideal future milestone, such as retirement or career stability, to finally start living. It is not a formal mental health diagnosis. That's psychology. That's the brain.
Wow. Yes, sir.
That is powerful, brother.
You know, so and I say this all to say, and just for all term, a lot of people be playing.
Yes.
That's right.
Know, like, dang, man, Brother Michael, that's real. You know, damn, what'd he say? You know, I'm gonna put that up on my Facebook tomorrow morning.
Right.
And just go back to the same BS you've been doing.
Same BS.
You're not really serious for real. You're not really
That's
fed
right.
up enough in life.
Teach,
you know,
bro. Teach, bro, Jay. Teach, bro.
You know, and my man Tyron here, you know, we listen to Payroll Giovanni. Giovanni said your confidence low because you need to be accomplishing more. You know, that's why a lot of people confidence level is low. You know, it's like, man, everything these brothers saying sound good, but the problem is I don't feel I can hold court with these guys because I haven't done the work.
Right.
The work come in solitude. You know, Brother John, Brother Louis, y'all all can attest to this on Conversation with Me. Hold on, what'd you say again? What was that book name again? because I'm always feeding
Yes.
myself. Like the way I look
Yes.
at it is this in simple terms, and it's the last thing I'll say. And this is just the way my mind works. I'm not saying I'm right, you know. Okay, brother Elijah, I see you know something. He said I got that in my playlist. Yeah. Um, the way my mind works is this, and again, it's not to say that it's right, but this is the way of my thinking. You know, my self-confidence, if you will, self-belief in self. I've worked jobs where I knew nothing about. You know what I mean? I didn't finesse the interview, got the job,
Mm.
and I learned it. The way your brain program,
Mm.
the scarcity, submission that's beaten into your brain that if I don't, you know, work a job and continue working this job, I'll be out of it. I won't have nothing. I'll be on the quote on homeless. That do something to the brain, you know, in
Yes.
that fight or flight mode.
Yes.
You know, you start submitting all them resumes on Indeed or whatever you got to do,
Right.
whatever that normal routine is for you. But you don't grow in your confidence, in your comfort zone. Excuse me. You know, so you got to get some level of confidence within self to say, okay, I may not be comfortable with this, but it's like riding a bike. You know, you fall off, then you take the training wheels off. Next thing you know, you popping willies, then you spinning the handlebar while you popping the willies. It's like confidence come from consistency.
That's right.
You know, with consistency, it produce some sort of results for you. When you get some sort of results, then you had a confidence in yourself. Then if you're confident in yourself, when Brother John bring an idea to you, you can ask him a few questions. Let's see if it all makes sense. Then you can have confidence in him because he know that he seemed to know what he's talking about.
That's
You
right.
know, it all starts in self. And again, DLS, delayed life syndrome,
That's
also called
powerful, brother.
deferred life syndrome, is
That's
a
powerful.
cognitive pattern where individuals constantly sacrifice present happiness and fulfillment while waiting for an ideal future milestone, such as retirement or career stability, to finally start living. It is not a formal mental health diagnosis. And the last thing I'll say on that is we got to really take action in the present time and practice gratitude.
Mm.
You know, Brother John always say that to me is, you know, nothing is promised. Tomorrow's not promised.
That's right.
You know, and we like to do this thing where we, you know, go to people's funerals and, you know, we fake humble for a
Come
couple
on.
hours or a day.
Come
And
on.
yeah, you know, I really need to start living right and, you know, do more. Yeah, you know, tomorrow really ain't promised. And then you back eating a pork chop sandwich tomorrow, knowing that
Yes.
you know, it's not good for you.
That's right.
You a
Come on, brother.
slave. You a slave to your habits. How you do anything. How you do everything.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't eat the right food. You can't consistently go to the gym. You can't consistently go to the gym. You can't consistently work on your business because you don't see no immediate dopamine attachment to it.
That's right.
The way you do when you post something on social media and your phone bling-a-ling-a-linging. You
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying? With the notifications making you feel like something in the moment, but you ain't doing nothing. You got 10,000 followers, but you can't even pull 10 people together.
Mm.
You can't
That's
even get
right.
10 people off the
Come
internet
on, brother. Come
and
on.
sell them a
Come
$10
on.
t-shirt.
That's right.
Talking about what you finna do. You know what I'm talking about? Talking about you manifesting a G-Wagon.
You finna do.
Yeah. Next year it's on and popping. You know, after a while you gotta tell yourself, man, I'm tired of saying next year. I gotta make
Teach, brother.
something shake today.
That's
That's
right,
right.
brother.
That's right.
That's
Today.
right.
Today, not tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Today.
That's right.
Yeah, that's all I
That's
gotta
right.
say. Man. Salam alaikum.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
well, brother, I think you put the icing on the cake, brother. We're gonna close out on this on your point, and I 100% agree with you, brother. You know, we have to overcome those mentalities and the foolery. And you're right, even about the weed. You know what I'm saying? I think about Dr. Wesley's book, you know, on marijuana, you know, and what some of the things he talked about, even the feminization in it, the hormones, and so many things that we have to look at. You know, but that DLS is powerful, you know, and we need to study that. and focus on the current moment. And that's one of the things, that's the most difficult thing for us to do in this world that we live in, because it's either something pulling on us from behind us, and it's or something that we're concerned about in front of us. And so it robs us of the most sacred, the most cherished thing that we have, and that is the moment. That is the right now. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate your closeout point. Brothers, as we close out, I just again want to say, let us practice this week. You know, when we think about this week, leaving this conversation tonight, the takeaway, one important takeaway on the subject, many takeaways, but one thing that I just wanted to kind of draw attention to is just learning how to look at the best in your brother. You see your gift in your brother, find the gift in your brother, the ones that are striving, and acknowledge that. Even acknowledge it to your brother. You see something good in a black man, acknowledge it and encourage a brother this week. You know, encourage your brother tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Encourage yourself. Start with yourself. I think brother might have been brother Trey that mentioned something about that in Caleb, or Caleb was mentioned something about that. You know, start with yourself. It's okay to love on yourself, man. Get in the mirror and say something positive to you, you know, and remind, and then leave from there, and then get out and reach out to your other brothers when you encounter and have the opportunity. But look for the best in your brother and make that a practice until it becomes permanent as a part of your identification, a part of your natural self, to learn how to appreciate the good in your brothers. So I thank you, brothers. I think this has been one of our great moments together. And I'm so grateful to Almighty God for all of your input, your thought processes. Please push this out there. Nephew, we and I have been talking about it, because, you know, I'm on this thing, brother. When this was being sown in your brother's heart, I said, I want to, you know, the motive for me is to change the algorithm. I may not have all in. Some of you brothers are going to be really good builders. Some of you brothers are going to be the ones that's going to actualize things. Some of us are spiritual. Some of us, this is what we do. You know, we might have this part of the job. I may work for you, though. I'll go dig and work with you. But my point is, every brother got what they have to bring to the equation. The point is that let's push it out. You know what I'm saying? Let's push out as much information as we can. You see brothers on the internet doing positive things, share it. Share it to your story. It's warfare. And that was the thing, Brother Carlton, you really brought it to my mind. You know, the Bible says in the book of Revelation, that last battle was going to be in the sky. And that's what you're really talking about too, Brother Jay, you know, is over the mind. We got to go to war. So to preserve the mind and to preserve real consciousness, you know, to become real human beings, we got to break it up. And Brother John mentioned the whole principle of attention. Your attention is your real wealth. They turning your attention into money as we speak. So understand that, if you know, we have to reclaim our attention, and then we redirect our attention and refocus our attention, and then bring our attention together, and then stimulate, spear our attention out to change everything else and bring people to a more positive place so they can grow and develop. So again, I thank you, brothers. May Allah bless and keep you. Thank you for tuning in to our program night. We'll be back, Allah willing, Thursday. This is, like I said, 29. We've been on this grind for 29 weeks, and we just really getting started. You know what I'm saying? And we're about to make some move. We're finna talk right up out of the basement, Brother Carlton. We're coming right up out the basement, brother. And I love that history that you shared with us, because the Ghostbusters was jamming. I remember I was so proud of our nation back then. You was a part of that. That's a beautiful thing to have been a part of, because we was jamming there in DC, you know, in them project houses, helping our people and bringing peace and harmony and balance and making it safe for women and children to live in. So you've done a great work, and we got great works in front of us. And thank you again, brothers. Thank you all of the brothers who came on tonight. I don't know if we got to hear from everybody, but all of you who came on tonight, thank you for tuning in. God willing, bring somebody with you, brother. Bring somebody with you, because all it does is strengthens our conversation and helps us to be the benefactor of our other brothers from whatever walk of life that they may be coming from. So again, peace. Until next time. Assalamu alaikum.
Peace, brothers.
Peace.
Like,
Peace. Thank you.